MidSkoOl.
Ready to rock, man. How you been, GRYSKLL?
Yeah, what's good with you, fam?
I've been chilling, man. Just trying to work.
Yeah, I see you working, man.
Trying to get this working, man. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's
Yo,
really-
that voice, man. That voice, like Guru from Gang Starr, man. It's mostly the voice, man. You got an ill voice, man. Like, and I hear you talking, like.
Somebody just said that the other day. They was like, yo, Gang Starr. Rest in power, Guru, man. That was definitely one of the MCs I listened to, man. Yep.
Support. That's one of my favorites as well, man. You remind me the flow, the ease of it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You got an ease to your flow. So much respect.
Respect, man. Appreciate it.
Uncanny ease too, man. It's really real effortless, man. It's really like hard to understand how effortless it is sometimes when I hear it, man. I'm really like dumbfounded at how easy you make it look, but how intricate the rhymes are, the patterns in the rhymes and the double and triple meanings and all that, all the different literary devices you use in your rhymes. You're definitely a technician, bro.
I guess we just hopping in, huh? I'm playing.
Nah.
Yeah, appreciate it, Bill. Yeah, definitely. That really comes from my grandfather. My grandfather, not that he was a hip hop head, but he used to own a reupholstery shop in Yonkers. And anytime we went on deliveries, he would start rhyming as he's driving, and it was flawless.
Wow.
His internal rhythm for rhyming is to this day, to me, is unmatched. I tell anybody, you know what I mean? And it was just so easy for him to come off the dome and rhyme with rhythm flawlessly. And I always tried to imitate that. I was really close to my grandfather.
Wow.
But you know, it's in the blood as well, so it wasn't too hard to duplicate. But I had a great example of something to aim for with the rhymes, man.
That's
that was my
crazy.
Yeah.
That internal rhythm, huh?
Yeah, it was, you know, cause he be driving and then he has this bop as he's rhyming. You know, it's just a rhythm he would have. And it just never sounded like he was trying, you know? And it was just flawless, you know, and I always just try to duplicate that. But in general, that's just my attitude, my personality as well, man. I'm very laid back, and I just try to stick to what it is I enjoy doing, and it just happens to be rhyming, you know. So
what artists influenced you growing up, like coming up? Who was like that MC for you?
The MCs for me originally was Big Daddy Kane and Rakim. Those were the two that really stood out to me.
You in pocket, like I hear you. You in pocket, like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I get it.
Yeah. Me and my uncle used to always get into it. Originally, I was Kane. The punchline stood out to me. You know, so being younger, those are the things you just gravitate to, I guess. It's easy.
Raw was it, man.
Raw, you know, even the speed, you know, he's a great showman. Even on record, Kane is a great showman. So though that style really stood out to me. But as my uncle used to always tell me, Rakim is the best. It's Rakim. And as the years went by, gradually I became more of a Rakim guy, but I still hold both of them in high esteem. Those are my guys. And then GZA from Wu-Tang is in my personal top 5.
Okay.
And originally he was Cold Chillin'. He was with Kane on Cold Chillin' Records back in the day.
Yo,
that's when he was the Genius. That was his name.
Yeah. We had the little braids. I remember that.
Yeah. Man. The Genius. He was popping back then, but he just didn't he wasn't with the Juice Crew, so he didn't really get his opportunity with Cold Chillin'. And then there's one guy I always mention when people ask me, is Lord Finesse
Yeah.
The music,
Yes.
man.
Funky Technician.
Yes.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Funky Technician.
Yeah, the funky technician.
Damn, that's nasty. Love
Bad
I
mother.
ain't listened to that old Lord
Yo,
Finesse
that's
in a
yo.
minute, man. I gotta go back and dig into that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Him and
I'm
AG back and forth. Ooh.
He's Lord Finesse. You know, a lot of people they talk about Big L, but Lord Finesse was the studied MC.
Yes, yes. I never heard anybody say that out loud, bro. But that's a perfect way of putting it, man. It's no disrespect to L at all, but I mean
At all, man. L was
L carried on us the delivery of the cadence that Lord Finesse had and stepped it up.
It stepped it up. No, definitely he stepped it up. You know, he had like a lot of shock value to, you know, I think that's what he interjected into that style, the shock value, you know, and he took it and he ran with it. But Finesse was the studied MC.
Yeah.
He was syllabic when Kane and Rakim wasn't. You know, he was syllabic with his rhymes and multi-syllabic, and he had punchlines, and there was an ease to his flow as well, man. Like Finesse is definitely one of my favorite MCs. Yeah.
But G-Rap ain't on your list?
I listened to G-Rap, but I guess I had a loyalty to Kane. There was always this rivalry between G-Rap and Kane a little bit.
Right.
You know, so I kind of went with Kane there, but yeah, you know, G-Rap, you know, by far one of the best lyricists all time. Like,
not the sidetrackers, but did y'all see that came up in the digest today?
Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah. So
What happened?
somebody, one of the newer cats was like, you know, Kane or G-Rap on the Symphony, and you know, I instantly went where I go all the time, you know. So, but
yeah.
yeah. So are you from Yonkers?
Yeah, I'm from Yonkers.
Okay.
I was born in the Bronx, raised in Yonkers. Then I moved upstate a little bit to play basketball.
Where at?
Rockland County.
Okay.
It's about 20 minutes from Yonkers. Outside the city, about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know you at.
I was a big basketball. It was always rhymes and basketball with me. So I was playing basketball upstate. And then I ended up moving back to Yonkers and, you know, getting back into the music. So, yeah.
So did you hooped when you was upstate?
Yeah. I played a lot of I played a lot of basketball, man. I'm a basketball nerd, in fact. It isn't until like recently maybe I haven't been paying so much attention to basketball, but I used to walk around with a portfolio of all of the stats of all the players. I used to study it.
Oh yeah, I wasn't that into it.
Yeah, I was tough like that, man, with the stats and everything.
Okay.
And you know, I like the Lakers. I like Magic Johnson.
Okay.
It's somebody that I try to mimic a little bit on the court. I love passing, you know, assisting teammates and such. Yeah, man.
Yeah, when you said upstate, I was thinking upstate. So I spent some time in like the Utica, way upstate.
Way upstate.
Yeah, like up by Syracuse, etc. So I was thinking he was up there. But yeah, I'm from Jersey, man. So I right across the water. So.
Right across, yeah. Jersey's right there.
Yeah.
We didn't mean to start off going straight into the sheets.
Oh no! I was playing. Yo, you know what I mean?
I mean,
I was just joking.
The conversation was there, so it's like, yo, I've been itching to ask you all these questions.
I was just trying to get that chicken and broccoli down, yo.
Huh? What'd you say?
I was just trying to get that chicken and broccoli down real quick.
Nah, but I mean, you know, we're more relaxed than that. I mean, we're not really just all about strictly rhymes. We're really about the all-around person and really get to know people. And really, it's more about a hangout than it is an interview. And I definitely don't want you to feel like you're being interviewed. You on the spot, man.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Nah, you gotta talk about the lyricism. That's
a must. Yeah,
I'm trying to wait for Damon to get on so he
that side of you.
Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. Finish up, bro. I'm sorry.
No. I was just saying I'm trying to wait for Damon to get on so he could, you know, kind of get into it because I got my introduction to you and like, you know, so it was the real. You know what I mean? The joint you did on that, what was it? I forget, the church beat. I forget what you actually called it.
Humble brag, the devil's yeast barely do rise. Back when I needed the Benz with the alien eyes, I used to grab the L eager so you had to smell cheaper. The caramel Caesar with the bad as hell Sheba. Dramatic tell leisure, the hard to spell visa. The streets with Tropic with a parallel fever. Had to mix up. Most high came through, I had to switch up. Word, you heard?
Like you hopped on that, and I was like, who is this dude? Yo, follow. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
yeah. So the lyricism is definitely, you know, what stands out. You know what I'm saying for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I take that. To this day, I'm very staunch.
Talked him up.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. Talked him up.
Did say his name 3 times.
He did. He did. Yep. He did. I said it like 6, but we'll get to that later.
What were you about to say, Rymz?
No, I was just saying.
There you go, baby.
Can y'all hear me?
Peace.
Sure, yes, sir, we got you.
bro.
All right, peace. What's going on, D-Rhymes?
Chilling, man. Finally here, man.
All right, welcome. What's up, fellas?
Thanks for having me.
What's up? Man, look at that smile, man. You been up to something today.
Now, he probably gonna sneak attack me later, yo. Him and Chris was probably cooking, yo. So I'm bugging.
Oh man.
Yeah. So D-Ron, I don't know if you know, like, it's another podcast. And me and DeMon been like a week and a half, 2 weeks, kind of digging at each other. So it finally came to a head yesterday. So we. You know, just that friendly, actually, literally a friendly game of baseball. But so,
yes, it was.
Yeah, peep that. Yeah.
You hear one of us kind of throwing a little zinger at the other one out of the blue. That's all it's about, yo.
Yeah, you did well. You did well, Grasshopper. Not bad.
We'll get to that later. We'll cover that later.
We'll talk about that.
I got some stuff I want to say about that. We'll cover that one later.
Right. Okay. No, but what did I interrupt anything? What y'all talking about?
I was trying to eat, and then Shy got in the, you know,
I got
podcast in this mode, so I had to eat real quick. He got on his cookbook, yo. He was trying to. You know,
okay.
Yeah, got on my cook, huh? Yeah, but nah, we ain't got deep into
losing too.
We were kind of grilling him on some MC-ish for a minute, and then we had to pull back and remember, like, yo, this isn't really a show. It's more of a hangout, and try to pull back out and get more into just hanging out, getting to know each other a little bit first or whatever. So we were talking ball. For a minute, I know you played ball too, DeMon. So, I mean,
DeMon was heavy into the basketball for a minute too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You
played ball. D, you play ball?
Yeah, I played a lot of ball, man. A lot of basketball.
Okay.
A lot of basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
The young boy in me wants to say something like, we just got to all get together and hoop one day. The 50-year-old in me is like, yeah, let that go, son.
Yeah.
Leave that alone, yo. Leave that alone, yo.
Hey, my pop just tore his Achilles, and he was hooping with the young bulls probably in September. He tore his Achilles.
A word?
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it for him. But yeah, he been popped like 66. Still running point.
Still running.
Yeah, still running point. Yeah.
I played the week before, or the week between Christmas and New Year's. I played because one of my youngins was moving to South Carolina. He's like, man, it'd be dope to just run with everybody again. I was in there doing, every time I moved, I was praying I left without getting injured, yo.
wow.
Yeah, you definitely got to watch this stuff, man.
It's funny how that becomes a concern at some point in life. Now we're all kind of coming to that age around now, realizing like
you got to think twice, yo. Yeah. You got to think twice about it, you know.
Yeah.
I think one of the last times I played basketball, I pulled a muscle in my calf. You know, and it felt like somebody threw a rock. It hit me with a rock.
Yeah.
You know, and I said, what was that? And it wasn't until I took the step. I was like, oh man, I pulled something. You know, and after that, I was like, yeah, I don't know, brother. You might have to hang it up, man, because
yeah. Your mom from 3. That's about it. You ain't gonna catch me slicing stuff up like you used to.
You said your mom from 3.
My jumper broke now, yo. My jumper broke now, boy. That thing, whew. That thing broke. Like, I don't know what happened to it, but it's on vacation somewhere and it's not coming back, yo.
Oh my God.
Don't say that.
Yo, I'm a realist, yo. That shit gone, fam. It's gone. Like, when I went to the gym last time, let me put a couple up real quick. But like the fourth drum, I was like, yeah, it's.
Oh no, not what's my man from Philly, Markel Falk?
Oh yeah, that's basically.
Yeah,
that's basically how it was, yo.
Man, yeah. I just watched that little documentary.
Speaking of Philly, y'all see my youngin put Bronny on his ass last week. DeJuan Wagner Jr.
Oh no,
it's that.
Ooh.
Yeah, they So Sierra, what's the Sierra Heights, Sierra whatever?
Sierra Canyon.
Sierra Canyon. Yeah, they played Camden last week in Allentown. So you know the hype was Bronny versus Wagner Jr. They was both going at it. Yo, Bronny had a crazy block.
okay.
But yeah, DJ caught him one time with a bop, boop, brought it around the back, hit him with a jab. Then took another dribble.
No, not the fall back.
Oh. Yeah, he sat him down, yo.
Okay.
He sat him down. Like, he was like Bronny was on his ass. Like he sat him down. Yeah. He buckled him for real.
Yeah, his pops is no joke, man. DeJuan Wagner. Ooh.
I think I told the story in here, yo. So I went to
so that's his pop, DeJuan Wagner. Okay. Shit, yeah, big burly.
I'm from South Jersey, so my man Keith is actually like Wani's kind of like play uncle. So he was like, yo, we used to hoop every Saturday morning. He was like, yo, come to the gym Saturday. So I walk in the gym and he's like, you sticking the youngin'? Wani was like 13. I'm like, yo, there's no 13-year-old on the planet that's about to body me, yo. Keith was like, yo, I'm telling you, he could hoop. He's 13, dog, I don't care. Bro, I left the gym after that game, yo. Like, yeah, Wani was a problem, yo. Yo, I left the gym I started taking vacation time to go watch the ball play. The year they won the Jersey State Championship.
Okay.
I was taking vacation to travel to where they was playing at to watch Wani play, yo.
Wow.
Yeah, I seen him. We kind of got cool after he gave me the business. But he be in the gym like, yo, talking to Keith. Keith was like, yo, you hit from half court. I'll tell you to go get a steak after the game. That mugger step across half court and look over like right here and just put like, all right, we going to Sizzler. We going here like nasty, yo. I never played in the same gym with him again after that. I refused to put my shoes on. If he was in the gym, I wasn't playing no more, yo.
Wait a minute now. Hold on.
Yo,
but kids are they are very advanced. I mean, what was that Pac said? Once people started recording, had videotape, you can go back and watch and press pause and go back. Like they watch moves. If they see a move, they'll learn that move that day and practice it for the next 2 or 3 months. Practice that move. And they repertoire is just so quick, they can do anything. Yeah. I done seen a lot of left-handers look good, but you know, Curry kind of ruining the game because all the shorties think they can shoot now, so they kind of play themselves a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely
a self-check. Yeah, because they're gonna try to score every time anyway. You know, so ain't nobody really playing no defense.
When you got a fast break and you looking to kick out to the wing instead of hitting the man cutting to the bucket.
Man cutting, exactly.
It ain't the game I grew up on, yo.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yep.
Exactly. I came up playing point guard. When they put me at 2, I was upset. I played 4 in grammar school. I was upset playing 4. You know, because I can jump. So they had me. I was the only black kid in that school. So they had me playing down low. Sometimes I'm playing 4 and 5. I'm like, man, I gotta get my hands on the ball. But I'm a point guard naturally. So once I get that point, you know, natural point. So I'm gonna look for you on the wing. A lot of these cats, they going straight to the cup. Like Ja Morant. I mean, Ja, he throw a lot of oops and assists. I like Ja.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Penny Hardaway a little bit because he looking to pass first, but he can also kill you. So I kind of like that game. I ain't really into the gunning and all that shit. But,
it's interesting you saying that though, because I had a similar experience in high school. The high school I went to play ball at was predominant white, and yeah, that's where they would put me. They would put me at the 4 and 5, even though I was only 6'1.5", because I could jump. I could jump. So that's where they put you. And the whole time before that, I was a point guard. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it was like, it was a brutal experience playing ball at that school, man.
Yeah, it's a brutal experience because I only got one. I got 2 letters. I got a letter from Weber, and I forgot where else I got a letter from. But I'm playing down low, and I got 2 letters. Man, I probably could have had 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? Make my pick. But yeah, them coaches.
Yeah,
but
coaching.
Have you ever bumped into your coach afterwards?
No.
Man, I bumped into my coach, that same school. He always, man, we got a place in Chicago where we got the Dan Ryan. So the Dan Ryan heads out south. You know that, T. So the Dan Ryan is all, so the only way you can get like to the 80s and 70s where all the brothers at is to hit Dan Ryan. So he always, I was only black dude, he always say, man, what, going to visit your people taking a nigga lane 500? I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? The nigga lane 500. Nigga lane 500 is what white motherfuckers used to say about the Dan Ryan. So the Dan Ryan was this big project, I guess, and like whatever.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't know, right. You know, T, our grandmothers and shit used to tell us about the Dan Ryan. You know, moving houses, cut up the hood for this big expressway. So he was saying that the whole time. He make all kinds of nigga jokes and shit. I'm just taking it. I ended up bumping to this dude when I'm like young, right, 25. We bought out the gym. We hooping now and shit. You know what I'm saying? About 10 of us. We buying out a little gym so we can hoop on Saturday.
Right.
Guess who's cleaning up? Motherfucking Coach Shalleck. I said, wow. Head down, pushing the broom and shit. I said, Coach, what's up, man? I'm there with my squad and shit. You know what I'm saying? Old dudes, they ain't go to my school. You know what I'm saying? My bros. Man, the look on his face. Hey man, you know how you doing? Yeah. But he act like he didn't remember me. But I thought that was interesting. But if you ever bump into them cats, man, it's a whole nother universe. What a fucking story. I gotta write that down and shit. But anyway, we ain't gonna bore everybody with the ball talk. All right, T. I see you, T. I see you, T. Right, because I barely catch the game myself. Anyway, I'm going with all radio. I listen to radio, the game, you know, like old school, just, you know, announcers. But well, I wanted to ask D though. You and who was that? Immortal Technique.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good jam. Pretty good jam. Yeah, and with Immortal Technique, going to Joe Rogan and like being just such a unique MC and shit. So you a unique MC. So how did that come about and shit?
Well, you probably gotta kind of like, even before I even broke that record with him, I had a little run in the game. I had caught a deal maybe around 21, 22 years old. I was with Booga Basement Records.
Booga Basement, okay.
What?
So when you talk Jersey, I spent a lot of time in Jersey at the Booga Basement recording.
Word.
With the Fugees and Jerry Wonder. Jerry Wonder is the producer of the score for the Fugees. I was signed to him. So I had a little run there. So even with that, I just had a lot of different, I guess, connections established from my little run with that. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation in itself, what that commercial game is like. No, it's
what happened?
Just speak on it, bro. Shit, that's fucking interesting. It's an accomplishment, but I hate you though.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal, man. Especially if you're a person of integrity. You know, I was never one. I was never into gangs, or I never ran with a large clique. I always had small ciphers that I was with, and even in the game, music game, I was the same way. You know, I had a couple of dudes with me. I wasn't rolling deep like that. I always ran by myself. And there was also this element of who you with. Like, you had to be with somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's it was just something that, you know, that was, you know, it's pretty prominent in the industry. That's how it is. You know, it's very fraternal. Very fraternal. You know, and there's a lot of breaking down that goes down. They try to really, you know, it's you know, we be having, me and my brother, all kind of conversations. And we like, yo, that's that mind control right there. You know, when we go back and we think about how certain things played out, you know, I used to be in the lab all the time, Booga Basement, and people will go in there and they tell me, you know what, man, you gotta act a little more stupid. Oh, wow. You have to act a little more stupid if you really want to do something, you know. And like my grandfather, who I was speaking about, everything that he taught me was opposite of that. And I'm not saying I never did anything wrong. You know, I made bad choices, but I try to honor certain principles that my grandfather instilled in me. And it's like the game really went against that. And I refused to come off of my square when it came to certain things in that game. So, you know, unfortunately, you know, I mean, I learned a lot from them. They were great performers. You know, Clef is like unbelievable performer. So the opportunity to be right there and watch them, how they do their thing, you know, I was able to pick up on a lot of things. You know, they performed with a band, you know, so I even got introduced to performing with a band instead of always performing with a DJ, you know. So there was you know, my bag increased after that experience. So, you know, I've learned to be okay with it. But that game is brutal, bro. It really is. And
have you ever ghostwritten for anybody?
Yeah.
I can hear that. I can hear that. The way you flow, the confidence. I can hear that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That was something I did kind of on a secondary track. You know, I would handle some kind of ghostwriting when that ever came up. But you know, for the most part, I did primarily I was writing for myself. Yeah, man, that game is treacherous, man.
Yo, did it leave some scars on you? You feel like you've been scarred by the experience? You kind of damaged? How you kind of come back from that after dealing with those scars?
Yeah, that's why it's funny he's talking about the Immortal technique. Because I had a little underground run as well, and I found out there was very little difference between how the commercial game runs and how the underground runs. It's very similar. It's just a different position of power for some of these guys. Once they get into that position, they basically run it the same way.
Wow.
And it got so bad, I dropped music for over 10 years. Like,
what?
I dropped everything. I threw out all my CDs. The only thing I didn't throw out was my notebooks. I still have like a duffel bag of notebooks, but I threw everything else out. I wanted nothing to do with the game.
Man, that's heavy.
And it wasn't till I went on Twitter one day, and they had a poll up there, and they were saying, well, what is the coldest rhyme you ever heard? And there was some dudes up there that was talking about my verse with the Immortal technique.
Wow.
Okay.
Yo, I just heard that last night for the first time.
For the first.
Yeah, that was the first time I heard that. I had to rewind it. I don't know how many times to like I do every time when I hear one of your reels. Like there's so many different pockets and different worlds that you take people through, man. And it's serious. I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah. All good, bro.
Because I didn't want to give you your props for the verse, bro.
Yeah. So sometimes when you work and you do music, you never see the effect of it. You don't see how it affects people, what they felt about it at that time. At that time, that was my biggest record. It did really, really good at that time. That's when all of the music blogs was really popping. It was on every blog. Even before we learned how to really use YouTube, the views on YouTube for the song was just out. It was just outrageous. But to drop that, I was sick of it. Wasn't what I thought it was gonna be.
In what ways? You comfortable talking about the details?
Yeah.
I'm comfortable. Yeah. I don't want to pry if it's because I know some people it's like, yo, it's a sore area. I'm not ready to talk about it yet. But
I'm good with it now. I'm in a good space. That's what allowed me to get back into the music now, because I'm in a good space with it. But I went over 10 years without listening to any music. I refused to listen to anything.
Oh, you wasn't even listening to music?
Nah, I wouldn't. It would just be here and there. Maybe I would listen to some Rakim or some Kane, but listening, if you speak to me about music in between that time, I'm not gonna know what you're talking about.
Word. Wow. I thought you was just saying you was done as far as an artist. You meant even as a casual fan, you was wow.
Yeah, I was done with it. I was completely done with it.
That's the deepest. I know a bunch of people. Actually, we all kind of all right, yeah, we had this gap, but I was still I still listened and played around a little bit. That's crazy, man. Wow.
Because I have such an affinity for the craft of writing.
Right.
Some people thought I was out of my mind how serious I took it.
Word.
My writing, but that's just my affinity for the crafts. That hurt, bro, to see how it was being used or not. They didn't have the same outlook on hip hop as a culture. Even with hip hop, I had early experiences with it. My cousin Pam, she was dating Grandmaster Flash. That's how I got introduced to hip hop. So I was receiving wax before we even knew what a record was. We was receiving those records from Grandmaster Flash before those songs would even come out.
White labels.
Yeah, white labels. And I imagine the first time we played it was like, yo, what is this? This is awesome, man. I just fell in love, man. From there, it was a rap for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I started rhyming at 9. I never put that pen down, man. People thought I was crazy when it came. I just had such a love for it. So that game really turned it. I had such a bad taste in my mouth about it. I refused to even to deal with it in any way. I wanted to remember it how I remembered it.
Right.
So I dropped it right there.
Okay. That makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Okay.
Were y'all ever signed, Kareem?
No, sir.
Nah, okay.
Nah. We had some offers, but never fell through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you not take them?
Bad business, man. We were young and dumb. Like my man actually met Run and got some information, from Run wanted our info, and we never followed through, man.
All right,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you, and I ask both of y'all, everybody, honestly. So we all have that kind of young and dumb thought, right? But as an adult, as a whatever your age is now, and then looking back, do you see how it may have been a blessing to not have had? You know what I'm saying? I think I told y'all when we was in Frank's crib, and Frank was like, y'all too fucking stupid, man. Y'all don't listen. He's like, yo, this is your song. We're like, that's not the song. And, he's talking about it strictly from a business perspective. And, I look back on it I don't know that I would have turned out any better had it gone that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Sheed, I have no regrets. You know, like I look at it now, I definitely have no regrets because I was not mature. My mentality, I was just, and I'm gonna put it like this. I was real stubborn. Like my man said, like I take it serious. Like it means something to me, and I'm not gonna shuck and jive. Even back then, even as a kid, certain things just turned me off, and I was hard headed. Like to that point, like they couldn't, like they might make me want to go in the studio and do the song over, and it's done. It's like I can't recreate that energy again, yo. It's sorry. And you know, I was hard like that. I was difficult in that way.
Something as simple as wardrobe, man. Well, simple to me, but not simple to people that's trying to capitalize. You know, I'm like, I'm not wearing that.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Oh,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? And yeah, like, so it's funny, like, to hear kind of like,
wow.
Yeah, take, you know what I'm saying? Because
I mean, we would perform. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you good. Go ahead, fam.
Oh, you know, we would perform, and we thought, you know, we did our thing. You know, we would go into some really hostile environments and walk away like, wow, we actually got a reaction from the crowd. It wasn't nothing negative, but then the management and everybody would tell you, y'all sucked. What do you mean you sucked? You saw the reaction of the crowd. You know, it was love in the spot where we've seen other people not get that kind of response. Nah, y'all sucked. It was a constant thing of trying to break you down, you know, and it just seemed unnatural. Like, yo, you really felt that sucked? Like if you want to say, you know, it was okay, you know, it was extreme. Everything was these harsh extremes, you know, in an attempt to do what? And you know, so we would do our thing and they would tell us that we sucked. Or I think my first experience with it was because when I graduated high school, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to get into the music business, but I wanted to be informed about everything. That's how my grandfather taught me to be. So I went to a college for business for a year. So I knew how to read contracts and I understood language. They wasn't gonna get over me on that. And when we originally received the contract, that contract was crazy, bro. It's like, I told everybody in the crew, we can't sign this. This is what this means. This is what this means. So at that time, it was a whole label they were putting together. Everybody just signed their contracts. Everybody but us. That made us stand out as somebody that was not grateful because we received the contract first. And now you're the last one to sign it or haven't signed it yet. That wasn't an issue. But we're saying to ourselves, we're trying to protect ourselves here. The language in here isn't right, you know? And I think that even, you know, pissed off some parties, the fact that we just didn't sign the contract, you know, it just went with everything. Like, you know, we approached it from another angle. They didn't appreciate that. And that's when people used to come in the studio like, listen, man, you gotta act a little more stupid.
It goes against the grain. That's the business is built on the exact opposite of what you're bringing to the table. And you know, the talent is second nature to the business. In all honesty, that's what separates us from a lot of people, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all have some level of integrity, even if amongst us it kind of varies. We all, I think if we dig into it, all have a point of principle where it's like, I'm not willing to compromise on that. And once you hit that, you're no longer useful to them.
You're no longer, yeah.
I mean, you're a bigger headache than it's worth. Like, you could turn out to be the next whoever, but that's not a guarantee. I'd rather go grab this other person that's just going to rock with it, and we push the right.
That's the advantage of what we're doing right now, and just reels, the internet, Instagram, all that. We have the advantage now. It's a little different because we can come together, besides them. Like, even like, it's like, I don't know if y'all are familiar with The Walking Dead, but I always use this reference. It's when Negan was with the Whisperers undercover, and it's like, Alpha and them, they trying to run things, but the crew is with Negan. It's like, if the people are with you, it don't matter what the big corporation is doing with their money. If the people are with you, they're gonna have to come and be with you. They're gonna bow down to where the people at, because they chasing that dollar. And see, we're not chasing that. We're chasing the spirit, and like my man said, we have integrity. So we're doing this for a reason that a lot don't even understand. They don't get it, But I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, I don't want to drop any spoilers, but Kareem has a song coming out that I think capitalizes what you guys just said. I haven't experienced anything like that. Well, to a much lesser degree, but I think Kareem's song, it's not out yet, but I don't want. But man, just look for it. What's it called?
Stereotypical rap.
Stereotypical. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it is, and the beauty of, like, again, you hopped on that reel. I was like, yo, homie can rhyme, follow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's
that's
the greatest
to a reel. Yeah.
That's the greatest compliment I feel you can pay somebody. Like, if you follow me and they be like, yo, I felt that.
Yep.
I'm kind of good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
yeah.
Right.
It was never really about the dollar for me. It was always about, y'all heard it a lot time. It was 10 people that I rhymed for, but it was always about one of y'all being like, oh shit, I heard that. That's all I need. You know what I mean? Anything over that is gravy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And to me, that's the beauty of the internet. Like, you get that wild DM from somebody like, yo, I heard this. Is this what you meant by that? You be like,
yeah,
fam, yo, you in New Amsterdam. What, but that's how it be. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, is the beauty of all this. And that's what we didn't have access to in 92, 93, 94.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that to me is the beauty of the web.
Word.
Which refers back to...
We have a method by which we can find our tribes now. Like, back in the day, you'd be on an island. I know me, in Maryland, there was nobody I could talk to about the hip hop I loved. I was by myself for the longest time. And I could find small pockets of people. And when I found somebody, I clinged to them to the point that it was often to my detriment as a person. That's how much it meant to me to find somebody that really loved hip hop the way I did. Because otherwise, there's really not much else that I really want to talk about. I didn't play ball. I like to read. I love to read, but I love to read. I don't like to talk. So
the
only thing I like to talk about really was hip hop. So it meant a lot to me to have people to talk about it with. So these reels have kind of saved me in a way that I appreciate, man. Finding MCs that really, like, cerebral MCs who are still dope, who are still funky with it, still loose with it. And really love the culture and the craft. That's what I appreciate from all this.
But you get a different interpretation of the same piece of art from everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen to all y'all, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, how does he do that? You know what I'm saying? All right, what put him in that frame of mind? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that to me is because it allows you to be the individual. If the industry had it their way, we'd all sound the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where we weren't from. The idea was to set yourself apart from the crowd, to mimicking the crowd. Oh, that's what's hot. That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Oh, look at it switching. That's where I'm going. And you know that. Like you're saying, D-Rod, it wasn't that y'all was whack. It was that y'all was going against the grain. You know what I'm saying? And that's, oh man, we really got to manage these cats. We can't put them in the cookie cutter.
Right.
Oh, no, we don't got that kind of time.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. And I kind of sense that about you brothers too. I think that's why I originally had caught on to the ReelRhymes or the reels that you guys were doing, and then over time was able to see, well, who's who. And I just sensed that about y'all brothers, and seeing how y'all presented yourself, that there's something authentic about how you want your hip hop, or how you looked at hip hop, and how you want your hip hop, how you would like your hip hop to be received. It just seemed to be an authenticity that kind of stood out to me, that I can get with on board. Like, I appreciate that kind of energy, and that stood out to me when I saw you brothers.
Right.
Sure.
So it's dope to hear that now, so I know it lines up with what I was feeling at that time. Like, y'all know.
You want to talk about P.O.N.Y and tell us about your how you came to be a member of P.O.N.Y and kind of your experience walking into P.O.N.Y?
Yeah, sure. That started off of the deMension Cyphers hip hop community page. I started there from the first season, and then I think it was the second season they introduced the prides. So that would be the crews. And then there was a MC there that wanted to start the Pride of New York, which would be all the MCs from New York. It was me. It was produced by Den. And there was one more. And then we started, coming up with different MCs that we knew that were around. And then we just invited everybody. And for the most part, everybody said yes. And, we were going against other prides in that community. I think you had like the Pride of Philadelphia. You had the Pride of, I forgot the other one. But, it was just a battle between crews. Okay. So, you had to communicate with one another, because as well as your individual submissions, you had your crew submissions. So we would all be in a chat talking about, what we wanted to do as a crew. And yeah, from that, you started just to develop, I guess a camaraderie, or, getting to know each other through this, Instagram hip hop page. It was crazy to me, because I was just getting back to music and I didn't have a great experience. So, all of this was really part of my growth though, at the same time. Word. There was a growth that was happening that I was allowing to happen by participating at all with this. And man, it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it.
Because that's why we didn't cut you off, but we did cut you off, because you was at the point where you were saying when you saw somebody quote you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, you so serious, what makes you happy? Did that bring you back in when you saw yourself listed there?
You know what it was? Out of all of the ill stuff I thought I said in that verse, it's what they were pointing out. They were talking about the line in that verse when I said the wicked trying to replace God with celebrities. That was the line that they were bringing up out of all of the other stuff. And that just put things into really perspective for me, because that's where I was going anyway. In that time of stepping away from music, man, I just had a big spiritual walk, and a lot of things changed within me. So to see that they were clamping on to that little nugget, I'm like, I need to do more of that. I need to make that more verbose and create music like that if they're just getting that much 10 years later from one bar, you know?
Wow.
And yeah, so it wasn't more so like they were praising me. I was paying attention, well, what did they like about that verse? And it was that one particular bar, you know, the way that vibrated with them, you know? And I think some of them was like brothers from Africa, you know? And so even when I wanted to ask the brother, you know, I do Q&As, man, I'll ask him like, well, what did you like about it? I want to know, you know? And just the exchange, I'm like, wow, you never know how your music can affect somebody, even if it's one person. You know what I mean? You might have offered something that wasn't offered to them before because of, you know, and that's the purpose of music, I believe, you know, in the long run of it. You know, it encapsulates time, it encapsulates experience, and all of these different dynamics that just get wrapped up in, you know, it transcends beyond anything to how we understand what music is. You know what I mean? So I'm like, nah, man. I think I'm gonna get back into this. I just didn't know how though.
Well, I'm glad you came back, bro. For real.
Yeah, I'm happy, man. I'm happy about the choice. My son is happy about it. You know, whereas maybe when I was doing music before, I didn't really perform in front of my family, or now doors is open to everything. I allow my son to see everything that I'm doing, and he's really enjoying just seeing me do it, you know?
I noticed that because you, like you said, you have Q&As, you ask people what they think. You answered the question already. You had, when you in your car, you said you ain't fucking with none of that trap shit, basically. Like, you take a stand before anybody even gets a chance to ask you.
Yeah,
opens up more doors.
More doors. Yeah. No doubt.
Very good move.
Yo, I don't want to go too far off on a sidebar because there's still a lot on the MC side, but seeing Tobias come up here and thinking about this made me think about something else too. Something else that was just said made me think about the fact that you're a comic collector, or you something into the world of comics and animation too, right, bro?
Yeah. So when I fell back from music, I got into comic book publishing. Me and my other two brothers, our father was a big comic book advocate. That was a big conversation in the crib. So when he passed, you know, it was almost like an epiphany that we all had at the same time. We said, hey man, why don't we honor Dad by doing our own comic book?
Wow. That's dope.
So, but we're gonna do a hip hop comic book. So, you know, we the first place we went was to Philly, and it's called the East Coast Conference Black Comic Book Convention that we went to in Philly, and there was a lot of black folks there. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so I'm like, so this looks like something that could be cultivated, you know, because, you know, your assumption is that, you know, only certain kind of folks are into reading comic books. And I saw a lot of young black youth excited about these independent comics that was coming from people that looked like them, you know, and they weren't Marvel, they weren't DC. We said, we can do this. We can do this. My brother's he's an ill character designer, man. You know, he's an artist. And even my younger brother, he's a digital colorist. I can't draw worth a lick, but I can write. You know, I can write. So yeah, we came together, man. We did our BattleMasterz. I think that was 2011. We went straight to the New York Comic Con in Manhattan, and it was overwhelming. The reception.
That's dope.
And whereas you might feel slightly uncomfortable being in that space because you never did it before, we all felt comfortable. We like, we can do this. And we went on to publish for 10 years, man.
Okay.
Congratulations, bro. That's
congratulations. Yeah.
we would eventually get into the library system, you know, where we was doing we was holding classes for the youth as far as how to create a comic book, the principles of narrative and things of that sort. You know, we started getting, even before this COVID thing happened and I got back into the music, we were being invited to universities to speak on panels about black pop culture, controlling the black image in pop culture, and they would invite us to come and speak, you know, on these panels, man. So it's something that was right up our alley because we were just big time comic book people due to my father in the crib.
Wow. Man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Straight up. Straight up. Wow. So BattleMasterz, that's what we gotta look for.
Yeah, BattleMasterz. It's on Instagram as Battle Hard.
Okay.
The account is Battle Hard, but the comic book is BattleMasterz, and it's just ill, man. You know, the Wordsmith, what I'm kind of borrowing from BattleMasterz, you know, it's an archetype of hero or villain in BattleMasterz who could speak or rhyme things into reality, right? So I always, when I was on the battle scene, I always rhymed supernaturally. But anytime I rhyme, everything for me would be very visual. I would see it. So we imagine some of the illest hip hop lines being said. Like one of my favorite MCs I was around at that time and I would listen to was Cannabis. And because Cannabis was running with the refugees at that time that I was there as well. When he was putting that album together. This dude had some of the craziest lines, like ridiculous lines. But every time he would say it, I would see it. Mm-hmm. So we thought in BattleMasterz, what if we can illustrate how that word crosses over, you know, and actually manifest into being, like you're instigating it to happen by the word. But we're using a hip hop aesthetic to capture that. And that's just one part of BattleMasterz. And the youth just really gravitated to that message of, you know, being true about your word and watching what you say, you know, and how you say it, because it affects everything around you more than you realize, you know. So that's a big plot of the book.
Wow, that's humongous.
Yeah. That's dope. Yeah. That's part of like what your platform is built upon too, like the wordsmith and the word on. Because that was one of the other questions I had. Is like, where's that all come from? Is it primarily from the comics? Are there other places that you pull that from that you're inspired to like really push for keeping your word and the power of the word?
Yeah, it's primarily the comic book. You know, and then it's just life lessons and how I was taught, how I was brought up. My grandmother used to be, I hear it, I could hear her now, you know, like, you know, watch what you say, watch how you say it, you know, if you want something to happen, say it, speak it, you know, and even just my experience with the rhymes, you know, it's, you know, my crew used to always say like, wow, man, didn't you say that in the rhyme? And then it kind of happened, you know? And even some of the things that I think maybe didn't work with me or kind of, you know, worked against me, you know, I used to examine myself. Well, what did I say? What did I say? You know, and it go back, like, let me go back and check, man. What did I say, man? This ain't work out. What did I say?
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes, I mean, it's such a over the head concept and how powerful just a little utterance of a word is. But I found in my experience that a word is never just a word, you know? So watch it.
Wow. That's
So I use my written word and a couple of years for a couple of things, and not long after, they came to be, and it really shocked me and made me start to pay attention and realize there's a little bit more to this than just coincidence.
Right. Yeah, without a doubt, because even with the music, right? Like in the upcoming book that we're going to be doing, the BattleMasterz 3, it even shows, and this is scientifically proven, whenever they try to do these experiments with music and water, you know what I mean? So you can play, say, heavy metal that has a tension in it, a high tension, and even the word usage that's in it is producing a certain vibration. Now, they found when they played that music into water that it was creating all of these chaotic geometrical shapes in the water molecules of the water. Now, when you played something of a high vibration, something that was more positive, the geometric shapes in the water were beautiful. You know what I mean? And that just came from the music and what was being said in the music. You know, so even in the book, you know, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself in saying it, but what we're trying to show, if that's true, and we're walking around with 75%, 80% water, what does that mean for us? When a certain vibration is being played or we're speaking a certain way. Yeah. It is what it is. We're majority of water weight. You know, so we're trying to illustrate all of these little things, but with the hip hop aesthetic, you know, so it's the same thing for me too. Like, you know, like I say in the rhyme, you know, I watch what I listen to. Words that enter you could bring you anywhere because these words are dimensional. So, you know, words have this effect on you, and it's a scientific thing too. It's just not it's not opinion based. Things work in a certain way. Things were created a certain way to work, you know, and there's a reason that there's such a, what I would say, like, there's such a big agenda why they need to get certain artists under their thumb. And they need to have a certain control of music.
One of our first guests, Steve the Voice, was talking to us about the way the 808s and the frequencies that range affect the human physiology. So hearing that kind of adds on to that and makes them kind of make sense. Like when you talk about the water molecules, that kind of gives a physicality to that concept. So appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, those, you know, and I'm not banging on anybody's music or their style of music. I'm talking about, you know, the energy that it, you know, music is energy manipulation. Like, you know, it's still a mystery to me when I listen to music. I'm like, where is it? How is it being generated? Generated from what? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
And
empty almost.
Yeah. You know, it's a mysterious thing. Music is mysterious. You know, and you know, I don't bang on anybody's music, because even when we reach out to the youth, we try not to do that to our best. You know, that's the music that they're listening to. But that music with like the lows, all of that lows that's in the music and stuff like that, it does have an effect. It does.
You know, Tobias, Alex.
Tobias, no.
Yeah, so that's you know, that's the partner in the
peace,
Mavericks. Yeah, but he
Alex.
like, he's a educator as well, man. He actually, I don't mean to talk for you, you're not like to brag on the squad. You know, the homie he's actually teaching a hip hop class, the first in, I guess it may be in Chicago, I'm not sure, but definitely at his school. But he was tapped to teach a class on hip hop to 1st through 6th graders. So like, you know, he's coming up with the curriculum, you know, A to Z, you know, kind of got free reign and is doing like, I'm about to go out there and see if I can register as like a 5th grader to shave real quick and see if I can get in that drink. Yeah.
That's dope.
De La Soul in the classroom the other day, and Dylan.
That's crazy dope, man.
Yo,
lesson plans based around hip hop from in that vein. So it feels good to know that that's not being lost on our youth, man.
On our youth, man. Yeah, that's powerful, man.
Yeah, definitely want to, what I'm saying, keep that info instilled, man, and keep it going, man. Just like Pitchfork said. But yeah, man, I was a little nervous with it, but it's fun, man. I'm finding my foot in it.
Man. That's powerful because I think sometimes as time goes, we kind of overlook things that just we'll normalize something or we'll become jaded to something that that was in close proximity to us, so we're not really understanding what that is. Like the fact that we formed a culture like that called hip hop, and you can see its influence on the entire world, even as things move on and times move on, we should continue to cultivate that. So it is being crossed over for educational purposes into schools and, whatever other platforms or whatever, forms and tools we could bring it. And like I said, continue to utilize it and as the time changes, just continue to cultivate it. It's something we shouldn't become jaded by because it's something we grew up with or listen to this music, and that's it. Nah, man, it's so powerful. Hip hop is so powerful. Whether it's the music, just the visual, artistic part of hip hop. Me, I still enjoy like the b-boying, man. Like the when I see dudes b-boying and stuff, man, like it's unbelievable to me. The DJing, all of these different aspects, which kind of get overlooked as time goes. It's like, nah, man, we could cultivate this into a whole nother form and keep this thing going for the generations moving forward,
Especially definitely principles intact.
Yeah, you gotta keep that stuff intact, man.
I think it's healthier. I think similar to kind of what we consider to be dope hip hop, those other elements still exist. They just, like everything else that's real, they're not being projected in the mainstream because the power that's behind it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, my daughter had me going to this joint in Charlotte before COVID hit, yo. And, she's like, "You're gonna love it, man. Like there's real music, cats is in there breakdance and da 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 da." And I pulled up in that joint one night. I told her, I was like, "I'm gonna come through for an hour. I'm out." And I couldn't get up for work the next morning. I was in it the whole night, but the environment was.
I saw there was a bunch of the battle MCs from the. That's part of that battle culture that's going on.
Uh-huh.
And, they were even saying themselves it's not what it used to be because now there's a lot more money involved. And they don't even feel that craft of battling is being upheld. It's already starting to be pushed to the side. And it has to be a conscious effort amongst them that when you get in these younger MCs come in and they're looking at, they're stepping into that battle culture at a different pivot point, so they think it's about this. And it's almost like a ignorance to what it's really about. And what they were all saying is it's up to them to let them know this is really what battling is about. It's not about watering the skill level down. I see that there's a big divide amongst, you being a lyrical miracle dude, where they're even labeling guys and looking down. Like there's a bad stigma as far as, and it wasn't like that in hip hop culture, not hip hop battling culture, but now it is because the money is kind of transforming it into something else. And they were saying it's really up to them to make a conscious effort to make sure that stuff doesn't change. you know, and if you're not careful, you know, you'll end up seeing the same thing happen. You know, they'll sit back and watch you cultivate it first.
You know, this kind of goes to what I was saying last week. Remember when I was saying it's kind of on us what happened to the kids? I didn't mean it's on us like we should have been at war with our own people over what kind of music we're putting out, but it's on us to make sure that we try to push the message down. And you were right. You did do your part with your daughter. You have evidence that you did it. And same with my son, Kareem with his son. I'm sure Damon with your son. All of us have passed up and done. My son makes beats and his rhymes are very well crafted pieces of work. I'm sure your daughter, you said her knowledge on the wheels. Kareem's son, I mean, I heard that song from Kareem's son, and I'm just dumb. So I know we've done our part in that way, but I mean, I always feel like there's more we could have done to pass it beyond our bloodlines. And I'm still not pointing the finger saying like we should have regrets about it, but I'm just saying there's more we could have all done.
No, I go ahead, my fault, Kareem. Go ahead, bro.
Nah, I just want to piggyback off what Pitchfork was saying, because like this happened, I had a conversation with my son maybe 2 years ago, and he's 21 now. So, and you know, he grew up, you know, he exposed to nothing but hip hop around me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all he heard, man. Like when he was a kid, like his favorite MC when he was little was Merz. I put him on the Merz early. So that was what he was exposed to. But we had a conversation, and he actually said to me, he was like, so Dad, like I was saying, there's rules to this hip hop. I was explaining it to him, like I was like, there's rules to this. And he's like, Dad, who made the rule? What are you talking about? The rules. Like he didn't understand, he didn't know about the elements like you were saying, like tagging up, getting fame, break dancing, you know, DJing, scratches, cuts, battling, just all of that. He didn't realize my son, like that shit fucked me up. Like I'm gonna be honest, it really it threw me off. I was like, what? Yeah. So we had a conversation and I got him right. But you know what I'm saying? It's like it is on us to kind of like, sometimes I think we take it for granted. The kids nowadays are so advanced sometimes. I'm speaking just for my kids. Like, I think we take it for granted that they understand things that they don't. You know, they come off more polished than they really are. And we just need to take that time to talk to them. Yeah.
But you know, where I have my son, he was, most of his projects were always song. I know I can be what you want to be. We're gonna break that down for your project.
That's dope.
It's gonna be, your paper gonna be on, you know, KRS-One. Well, who is that? So now he's gonna be a beacon in your school. You're gonna teach some of these guys that. Interesting, because then at the same time, when we coming up in Chicago, we had that drill coming up hard. So he hit me with the drill stuff. I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Broke my heart. Like, wait a minute, hold on, what you doing with the drill? Damn, what happened? No, but it didn't. He didn't pick up the drill, but he was sonically in tune with it. You know, he knew who he was. So that's how I was kind of coming in with listening to, you know, all the Lils, whoever in Chicago, Montana 300. But, you know, but at the same time, he still kept that in tune. And now he's listening, he's Earth, Wind and Fire. He still has that, but that is a part of his makeup, whereas he would consider that hip hop.
Wow.
And I don't disrespecting it either.
Huh?
Sorry, she was about to speak.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
I was saying, I don't believe in disrespecting that opinion either. I think it's a child of hip hop. I won't call it hip hop proper in my opinion, but I mean, I respect where it comes from and I understand why it came to be. And a lot of that's because we couldn't pass along the lessons and the principles and the pillars to help them understand kind of like this isn't just meant to damage each other and be used as a weapon against one another. There are other reasons we can use it. It's not, and I'm not saying all drill music is that. I don't understand drill enough to speak for it. I'll let you speak.
You got it. You nailed it. I mean, don't worry about correcting. You got it. But it's interesting because, like you were saying, the cipher turned into a battle. The battle, and so instead of building, we were destroying. So now I got to destroy you. Your shoes ain't nothing. Now, okay, now you passed my shoes. Now you're gonna actually hurt me in your lyrics. Okay. Yeah. Now you got to come. You hit me with the knife. Now you got to come with the axe next time against the bigger dude. So now it's coming to hard torture. It's just torture, straight torture. And Chicago picks up on that, where it's murder. It's straight murder. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it's real comes in. It's all. It is a division of hip hop that got misconstrued, misunderstood. Like we were saying, that link. Somewhere in between, it got misconstrued, like, oh, and that battle culture was very heavy.
But
very heavy.
At the onset, though, if you think about hip hop as a seed, it was the exact opposite of that. B-boying was to stop the violence. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me coming to kill your crew, your crew meet my crew over here, and we just gonna battle it out on the cardboard. You know what I'm saying? And
that's the importance.
Right. The issue isn't, to me, the issue isn't the bravado. Me and Tobias, me and you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the rules were in place, right? I'm like, yo, there's certain stuff I'm not gonna say. I know y'all personally, y'all know me personally. There's stuff we could all pull out on each other that would be inappropriate. Right. But the respect was there, the respect for the art. You know what I'm saying? And that, I think that's where things may have gotten lost. And it's hard to...
Lost or led?
Well, you know it's tomato. My point is, I think we keep going back to the we, and
right.
important things is the machine.
Right.
The machine is in motion, bro. It's not
our fault.
You can't. I think we own a part of it, but we aren't bigger than the machine. And that I think, again, we each have a story that we could tell in some shape, form, or fashion. That, like, you know, the machine was like, yeah, you too much of a headache. Boom, next one up. You know what I'm saying? And that that's what it boils down to. So you start to look at that. You take somebody that's not eating and you put 50 grand in their face, they doing what you want them to do. They're not even thinking about 50 grand ain't really no money. If you're not eating, 50 grand is a come up.
No doubt.
You doing whatever they tell you to do. That's how it starts.
Yes, boss.
Yes. I want to start.
And even if you don't think you shucking and jiving, you know what I'm saying? I really believe in these ain't really, I'm not really killing nobody. This is all metaphoric. You know what I'm saying? But the next person doesn't understand that. And nobody's teaching them that. And so they're hearing you talk about this action, and then they go on to act upon it.
Right. So, I want to just add, the battle culture led the culture for a while. That's how the pot got up there. They led for a while, and that's when them shorties, and like we came in, I heard Melly Mel. I got in at a certain area. These guys kind of got in a certain area. And you're right, the machine is bigger than what we're doing. I'm gonna take the blame off us. I'm gonna take the blame off Kareem. I'm gonna take the blame off Alex. I'm gonna take the blame off of all of y'all because, like Kareem said, he had to get them right. You know what I'm saying? I had to get my son. We tried to take away from that. 2 Chainz said, OGs never fed us, now young niggas fed up. And that line says it all. So they gonna find a way to eat, and they savages at this point. Now I wanted to add this. There's no degree, there's no knowledge in hip hop anymore. Back then, it was important to get God degree out of hip hop.
Is it not there any longer, or is it just not in the forefront?
There's no gods in earth in hip hop.
I don't agree.
I'm talking about drill.
Okay.
I'm talking about drill. I'm talking about trap.
Okay, I'll ride with you there.
I agree with you too. I agree with you too. That's out of there. And even that got missed. I know God degree. And I remember being on the west side with dudes using that shit to sell dope. Son, 7-year-old dude. That's a direct current against hip hop. You know what I'm saying? People learn knowledge, just the trick. That's what D was saying. No matter what, they were looking to mind control him. So if they're looking to mind control them, they're going to look to mind control us to put the blame on us. So we got to take that blame off us.
They don't even want to do it. They want you to do it. That's the beauty of the recipe now. I'm telling you, B.
I like that.
Why I don't even have to work anymore. I'm gonna go pay this one young boy to do all the dirty work, and y'all gonna follow like sheep.
He gonna be ignorant for the rest of his life. Yes,
right.
It's more efficient.
They're not even ignorant though. They're not ignorant. They're playing ignorant. 2 Chainz wanted to be a doctor, fam.
Yes.
He's not ignorant at all. It's just It's easier to swim in that lane.
Right.
I'm not, you know, get your bread, whatever. But that's, to me, that's where the integrity comes in. And if you get to the point where you got that, swim there, but also be responsible enough to say on one of your other platforms, like, yo, don't misconstrue, you know, the 2 Chainz you see on the record for who I really am. Let me tell you about these other businesses that I'm doing on the back end. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason Killer Mike is known to us way more than he is to mainstream cats, when he's light years ahead of 2 Chainz lyrically and his business acumen. But we don't need access to that business mind, because then we start to disrupt the playbook. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Like, you know, we definitely play a part in that, but it's so much bigger than us. So I think what we owe to ourselves is kind of like the mom was saying, you know, start it at home and hope it kind of branches out, and trying to reach out to those people that you've got the ability to touch in your community and go from there. So I agree with you, Sha. I think I was just saying, like, you know, I don't think it's as simple as we want it to be sometimes.
Definitely not. Yeah, it's definitely much more complex.
And by the way, that word is bond is tough, yo. Tough.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that was cool. I only had a handful of MCs that I wanted to work with when I came back. If it doesn't really make sense, and it has nothing to do with, say, who's hot, who's not, you know, there's only a handful that I wanted to, where I felt like their skill level is in play, but it's an integrity thing too. And Mickey Factz, I don't know if you really, if people are paying attention to what he's attempting to do, you know, as forms, he's actually starting a hip hop curriculum class that, I mean, he's going in on this curriculum, you know, and all of these different experiences of being an MC, and trying to put it into you know, in a way that it could be consumed, you know, from the perspective of as a student, something that you can learn, you know, which can be taught, you know, hip hop. He's also doing things in the means of getting the culture caught up with finances, you know. The time is now for that, you know, and I think that's part of the mind control and part of the stronghold that needs to get broken a little bit, as far as how you see yourself and believing that you can do something, such as hopping in the stock market. You know, that's something that Mickey is due. So that was a big record for me, not just from a skill level point, but his integrity, like what he's attempting to do in using his influence as an MC, you know? You know, so that the word is born was really, really that was something I pumped my fist on, you know, because that made me excited, you know, that made me excited. Like I said, because of the integrity that he has as an MC. But hopefully the wordsmith which is going to be really an experience. It's going to be something of like a short movie encompassed with these songs, really circled around the power of word and watching what you say. So I have another song that is going to be coming out. I don't know if it's going to be the next song. I don't know. But I have a song where, if you're familiar with King Los.
Yeah. Baltimore, right?
Yeah, Baltimore.
Yeah.
I have a song with King Los called Supernova Wordsmith.
Wow.
And yeah, this by far will be my biggest record. And I think everybody will really like the energy behind it, what's being said. And yeah, that's something to look out for. You should start seeing promotions for it soon.
That's kind of a reach across generations, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Los he's a little older than I thought he was.
Yeah.
And I could tell by some of his pedigree in the way he rhymes. He's really he's an unbelievable MC. He reminded me of myself because he's unbelievable off of the dome, his freestyle dome. He reminds me of my grandfather in that sense. How I said my grandfather could just rhyme off the dome and it's almost flawless. That's what he reminded me of, you know. But it was just his integrity for the craft, and just him having a similar experience as far as something that I experienced, you know. So it's just a certain cloth fabric that I wanted to deal with any of the music, you know, not necessarily just doing anything with anybody just because they have a name, you know. But he's adding a lot of value to the project, though. Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Congratulations. Very well. Very well.
Thank you, man.
You probably wanted to add some things too, man. I know you had to jump off there. Did you have some things you wanted to add in, bro?
Man, about the only thing I really had to add was my appreciation for jumping on the few reels that I did.
I love doing those.
My joint, man, was when you got down in that squat to rhyme. I don't even remember which reel that was, but yeah, that one really set it off.
Sky's the limit. Spitting 2,000 rhymes a minute. Find a vine, rocking a full chain with diamonds in it. Titanic baguettes, looking like meteorites. My legion of snipe, any mic I see on my sight. See, I'm the source of hip hop, not with the media hypes. Police gotta read me my wrongs before reading my rights. A sight be on sight before I die. Lead me to light, so every boy and girl in this world can see me at night. The second coming of the ghost that's in the form of a crow, trying to get mine at the same time. All of your dough.
Yeah, I want to do it no other way, man. I love hip hop. I love that part of MCing, and I love that dynamic between the MC and the DJ, man. Like, I love that. I miss that, you know. So when I saw you doing your thing with the reels and you were scratching it up, bringing it back, I mean, it was hitting me upside my head. Bong, bong. I'm like, yo, this is so hip hop. And then when you ran that beat, though, that's one of those beats that we used to rhyme on, you know, years ago. And this is when everybody would just really try to showcase and flex a little bit how nice they are. It's just something that break beat does, you know. So I said, nah, I got to get down in my stance on this, man. And like, know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Let's go.
Yeah, man.
We've been on hiatus on the reels, man. All us done got busy, man. But you know, we're probably gonna pick it back up. Maybe
we want Hollywood, yo. We want Hollywood now.
Yeah. Sorry, T.
I think Kareem and I actually talked about it today, about ReelRhymes today. I think he's gonna reach out to you, Bear. He's got some ideas, man, on what we're gonna do to bring that back up and actually do something serious with it this time around. Last year was fun and kind of what brought us together, but this year I think we're gonna really do something with it and have fun and make it more communal and really expand it. purposefully to a community. I think
Right.
all kind of happenstance, and we just had fun and it landed us here in GRYSKLL. But I think with you and Kareem, I think y'all can really turn that into something really dope, man.
I think so, man. It's needed. You know, and when you do it well, you know, that's a whole nother value that you could bring to it when you do it well. You know, and that's why I said it stood out to me about you brothers when I saw a little bit of how y'all was connecting and everything, that how y'all were projecting everything. I'm like, yeah, I can get with this, man. I like what I'm seeing, you know? Yep.
Appreciate that, man. And like T-Bed said, how he appreciates you jumping on that reel. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, man. I had to, man.
The church reel was amazing. I messed up. I fumbled the play on that too. I always owed you and Show a apology on that. I didn't realize that I never got a tag when your rhyme came out. So I only heard Show's verse. So I posted his, and then he's like, "You missed dRhymes." I was like, I didn't even know about dRhymes' verse, and then I went and I guess I saw it somewhere in a DM or something. I was like, oh man. Yeah. It was such a perfect setup, man.
Yeah, that was that. That was tough.
With the alien eyes, and he came back. Yeah,
that was tough. That was tough. Yep.
We're gonna bring it back and let it go.
Yeah, bring it back.
I'm definitely here for those, man. Like I love me some hardcore hip hop elements like that. You know, just and that's what was hitting me with the just even the tracks, how you guys were sampling the tracks and how they was the timing of the samples and everything. I'm like, yo, this is so hip hop, and I get it. You know what I mean? Like it's something. At this point, I'm a very jaded individual, and that stuff was exciting me. You get what I mean? Like it was exciting, you know, to see and hear, man. Yep.
What
But
it felt like with P.O.N.Y.
Yeah, when we was, well, I guess the overall vision, because everybody might have had their individual visions, but you know, the way I thought about what we was doing was, man, we just gonna do this because we love it. It ain't about trying to get a check. It ain't about sales. It ain't about even trying to
it's a rec league.
You know, trying to be like everybody else. You know, we just on some old, this is us, this is what we do. And if you want to fuck with us, come on aboard. But you know, like you said, man, we GRYSKLL, man. We got great beards, gray hairs. We done been around for a minute, and you know, this is what we love. So, you know, like I said, I'm gonna get on the wheels, try to find something to flip. You know, they gonna come with rhymes, and that's just what we gonna do. Whether it's a minute, whether it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, we just gonna get in and do it, have fun. And I think our whole thing was just the support. We came in, say if I post something, you repost it, and vice versa. So we just keep hitting everybody upside the head, because the 5-10 people that fuck with me, now they get to see Dragon's work. And his 5-10 people to mess with him, they get to see my shit. And then we pulled DeMension in, his 5-10 people. Now we all, next thing you know, it's just starting to blow.
Right. Yeah, because even my man Dom Giovanni had got on there. I think he got on there twice.
Yeah.
With y'all, something like that. You know, I'm like, yo, man, peep this out. You know, and same thing. He's originally from the Bronx. You know, he's originally from the Bronx. He's really just, like I said, a hip hop purist. You know, so he got it too once he saw that. You know, him bringing back that break loop, man. He knew what time it was. He's like, nah, I'm getting on this right here, man. So, yeah.
And it's funny, like I feel like Dom is my man now. You know what I mean? Like, it's wild. And again, the beauty of the internet, yo. Like, the common thread is hip hop, though. You know what I mean?
Hip-hop.
Between all of us, the common thread is hip hop, and it's the love for hip hop.
The love, yep.
That you know, we're all seeing the same thing. You know what I mean? So
are you putting together an album, B?
Well, it's a EP. It's gonna be a series of EPs.
Okay.
That's what was kind of hard for me because the way I was taught how to produce, market, promote music is so different now, you know? So when I was doing the research on the landscape now, you know, I was finding that, you know, you have to drop a lot more singles now, more in comparison to you just dropping albums or completed projects because of the way how music is distributed and just how the consumers, you know, they're how they receive music, you know? And so I'm planning on doing a lot of singles. What I'm gonna try to do is at least do a single, then do a remix, and then do a side B to every single. You know, nice. I used to love the side Bs.
Man,
yo,
you remember that?
Let me put this in your ear. I've been trying to put this in everybody's ear so we spread it.
And before he says it, let me just co-sign that it works. I know where you're going, and I'm gonna just co-sign it. Go ahead. I just want to give you my co-sign.
The digital 12-inch, man. Digital 12-inch. Drop your joint. Drop us the instrumental and the acapella.
Yep.
So yeah, you know, you usually put the joint out for 99 cents. Just make it $2-3.
$2-3. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yo, so our last, he told us that our last project we did that on, yo, and like it's crazy how well received it was, and there's really no additional labor for you.
It really isn't. Yep.
Yeah, and also I'm gonna give Alex his due because that the same thing you was just saying about how music is consumed and the way you need. Alex put me onto that 18 months ago, bro. I like, man, we just put something out, yo. We gotta sit back and let this bubble. He's like, they done with that shit, man. We need something else, yo. Like, man, it's wild to me. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Ace called it with that album, Disposable Arts, man. Man, I didn't know how serious he was about it when he said it, man, but he saw exactly what was gonna happen. I mean, it's all disposable now to the average consumer, man.
Digital 12-inch, huh? Okay, not the actual record album. But
yeah, well, you know, that's what we did on Branches of the Same Tree. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. If you buy it from Bandcamp, or if you get a physical, it's the songs, every instrumental, every acapella.
Yeah.
Even to like we even the drop cipher, do those acapellas on it, like the whole shit, yo.
Yeah,
and
man,
like well received, yo. So
yeah,
I mean, that would add like tremendous value to GRYSKLL here. I mean, because it's almost its own entity. It is its own entity at the same time.
Yep.
Wow.
Because even in some of the promotions I was looking, you know, to get into, you know, their thing was, well, you want everything to work for you. So if you have a lack of a catalog, you know, you might get a lot of people checking for you. And just the way the consumers are now, if they go and check for you and it looks like you don't have much, you might lose them right there. They're just different like that, you know? Yeah. So all of this is brand new to me. So I was like, how can I cover more ground, you know? So I said, you know, I think do a single, then do a remix for each single, and then do a side B. So before I know it, you know, a catalog is starting slowly to be covered. And when they finally do find me, you know, they could like, oh, he got quite a few singles, but he has remixes and, oh, this is a side B, what's that? You know, but ultimately it's covering more ground. The consumers are different. Just because I consume or I used to consume music a certain way doesn't mean that's how they're doing it now. And that part I had to, you know, reprogram myself to get hip to. You know,
a lot of people from our generation, like, I guess, pass judgment on that now too. So it's like a lot of people from our generation are really against streaming, against, you know, a lot of these other techniques. And I, you know, nothing against anybody's opinion for it, but I can see how it's easy to pass judgment on this and just not want to get involved at all because you don't like the way music is distributed or received. I think that turned me off for a while too.
Yeah, definitely.
But it is what it is. If you're gonna play, you know what I'm saying, and you're not established, you know, it's almost a necessary evil, man.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a hard lesson to learn. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know how much time I put into that? You're gonna listen to it for 20 seconds and be done with it. Like, all right, what's next? But that's the consumer today, man.
There was a couple of artists that was popping up in research where they dropped 6-7 songs, you know, from an album and then dropped the album. That just didn't make any sense to me. So I just basically heard the whole album, basically,
right,
you know, in the format of a single, but then I'ma still go and buy the album. They say people do.
Yeah, they do. Because they want the collection. They want it to play together.
Right.
They want the collection.
Right.
What we released four singles off of Commercial Break, Alex? It was at least 3.
Yeah, I think it was 4.
So we released 4 out of I think that was 9 songs.
Yeah.
So we released half of an EP as singles, and then released the joint, and it was like it was normal. So,
yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy to me, man.
Yeah, you don't get that mystery of going to that song that's not listed. Like, oh, what? And they'll usually be the bomb songs, the one that's not being put out there, you know. And that's the nuggets that the artists used to give you. But now everything.
Track number 8.
Yeah, that's what track number 8 symbolizes for y'all.
That usually, to me, the best song of most albums to me was always track number 8. Yep.
Okay. All right.
You know, I gotta test this theory right quick.
Yeah, of course, right. Gotta test that theory.
I heard there's a recommended formula in the industry that they used to tell people about. I wonder if that's part of it. Is that something you heard from somewhere else, or is that just your experience?
Nah, that's just like when I go back and look at stuff, it always seemed like track 8 was a track that stood out to me.
But you know what? You're right though, because I mean, when I was in school, I ran like the poetry club, and our instructor, we made a magazine called 8 based off of that theory.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. 8 Mile, and then 8 Mile was out around that time. So yeah, they definitely snagged that. It is.
Uh-oh. Yo, look who popped in.
Yeah, boy, what up?
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Look who popped in.
Everybody's in.
You know D-Rhymes, you know Cookbook? Y'all cross
what's up?
IG?
Peace. No, I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, fam. What up?
Same here.
Hey, y'all did a reel together. Didn't even know it.
I'm about to say, they was on. Y'all both did one of T-Bear's that breakbeat joints. Yeah.
Okay.
So y'all are connected through the IG metaverse. But
that's what's up.
Cookbook is a dope artist, crazy catalog. He's the podcast that Damon and I kind of went back and forth on. Tobias and I went back and forth on. So
so the battle he keeps referring to. All right, you won, man. All right, you got it. Hey, he won.
Hey, the votes ain't come in yet. We don't know yet.
I already know my sound quality is. I already know. I took the L. It's all right.
I try to hook you up. I swear to God, I try to hook you up. I try to mix your vocals up. I made the little brother instrumental underneath. It was rough, son.
I appreciate that, though. I appreciate it. It was tough. It was tough.
But I appreciate the fact that it happened though, because now you got, in my opinion, I didn't say it to y'all, but in my opinion, you won the DJ Imperial joint on Saturday.
Okay.
So it feels like a little tiebreaker, to be honest, man.
Right. Okay.
Word. Yo, D-Rhymes, can you stick around for a few more minutes?
Yeah.
Word. So let's hop into the Imperial joints first, because they were shorter and not really, So I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. So what I ended up doing for Imperial, that first line, I swear on everything I love, I was trying to do your style, yo. Because I was like, y'all got to see if I could get this off.
Really?
I chopped the first half of that first bar away because I was like, there's no way I could get this off. But my thought was, if I could fit it in there, I was going to throw some of it in my verse on the garage and see if anybody caught the style change. I couldn't do it, yo. I could not do it to save my life. So
what? Yeah, did you hear what I was talking about? Did you hear what I was talking about on? Did you guys catch the new episode yet?
Yeah. If I'm gonna be honest, about, I ain't go to bed last night until that shit came out.
Oh man, so it must have been late because I didn't.
Hold on. That's what you was texting about. I checked my phone this morning. I'm like, this fool texting early in the morning.
Hey, before we go too deep in this though, GRYMZ, you good on time, man? I want to make sure we close up. If you got to pull up.
Oh yeah, my bad, fam.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure you cool to hang out, man.
Yeah, all right. I want to hear what Cook was about to say. What was you about to say?
Well, if you listen to the episode, that's exactly what I did. I kind of compared and contrasted both of y'all styles, you know what I mean? And the difference between them, you know what I mean? Right. And you have that, like, that flow, demand, you got that flow that's like, it keeps going, you know what I mean? You don't, it's like Nas. Nas doesn't stop when he says punchlines. He just hits you with a bunch of punchlines over and over and over again. Wow. He just keeps going. And that's dope, you know, and that's what I said. I said, like, on the aggression tip and on that tip, like, you got him, you know, but in a battle, it's only, you know, Wonder Dial style sometimes works out a little better because he pauses a lot. Like, he'll stop and say that shit and just look at you and then keep it going right after that. You know what I mean? Like, he'll be like, yo, check it. You look crazy, you know, and then he'll just wait and then go to the next line, you know? So,
he lingers.
Go ahead. What was you gonna say?
He lingers. He lingers.
Here's Amnesty Hour.
But wait, hold on. But you fell for. He fell for a trick that I knew he would fall for. I knew he was gonna go longer. So I knew he was gonna go longer. My rhyme is actually longer than what I spit because I respected the chorus, the rule and the chorus came in, so I stopped. So I still have more to go, but I knew that he was gonna go past that chorus, and it's difficult to hear in that chorus, and it's almost disrespectful for a listener. So I knew you were going. So you bit the bullet anyway. So I knew you were gonna take that.
We're gonna have to tally up technicality points now.
I know, yo.
But this is just me.
But listen. You did 28 bars against Neeks, so you didn't stick to 16 with Neeks. You did 28.
Damn, y'all was counting them.
Yo, I wasn't counting. Listen.
I didn't count. I just go. I go from chord to chord. That's all I do.
I counted his joints because I knew that was going to come up. So I counted his joints, and then I did 4 more than he did with Neeks. And if you listen to one of my bars, the reason I only want 4 more is spelled out in one of those bars.
I heard that.
I counted what you did to Neeks. I was like, yo, there's no way that was only 16 bars. So I went back and I was like, yo, he did 28 against Neeks. All right, I'm going 32.
Yeah, you went 32. All right. We was like, damn.
Yeah. You did 32 times 2.
Batman. Right. He got a shot for everybody in the Justice.
Yes, he does. How to kill Superman.
I'm saying though, next week he's just gonna fill up a whole song. It's gonna be 3 minutes of him rapping.
Yo, you almost got So here's the real. I don't know Neeks like that. I didn't know Nomadic at all.
Yeah.
So writing to them was all I had to do to think about them was just not be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, I can't be disrespectful. Tobias was super difficult because not only do I know him, like we talking about a song this morning, then that night I'm like, yes, we about to battle, dog. And then, you know what I mean? Like, I've been in his house, he knows my wife, I know his wife. Demond is the same way, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, in addition to having to try to figure out how to go at these dudes that I know got lyrics, I'm gonna make sure I stay in bounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had a discussion, me and Tobias. I'm like, yo, I'm just not going certain places, yo. it just ain't worth it to me. And so when I went back and listened to your verse with Neeks, I was like, well, shit.
Yeah. See,
I can't err on the side of caution. I gotta swing and let them know I'm swinging. But if I don't hit them, I won't be mad that I didn't hit them.
Right. If you don't hit them, you don't know. I don't know you there. So thank you. Hey, well played. Well played.
And I'm gonna keep like with both of y'all. It's like, yo, I know these dudes can go. I didn't know Nomadic. Again, I didn't know. I'm like, I don't know if they could go or not. I know y'all could go. You know what I'm saying? And then hearing your verse for Neeks, I'm like, all right, if he did that to Neeks,
he's coming.
Right. So
he went hard. Yeah, he went hard on Neeks. For real.
So like in my head,
flinched.
In my head, I was like, shit. All right. Just let them go. You know what I mean? Just let them shits go.
It's a battle, yo. Hey, it's a battle, yo.
It's a battle, yeah.
Right.
That's it.
All right.
But yeah, so on your Imperial joint, like the one that Doll should be singing shit.
That got you. One Doll should be singing.
That got me. And you said something at the end.
Keep the change.
To keep the change joint. I was like,
I was gonna use that for what's the name. But here's a nugget, Cook. I told him what I was gonna do. I told him my sneak attack this time because I was gonna hit him on Saturday with that Out of the Blue, and he would been fumbling trying to do that. But I put him on, so we played it. So at the same time, that was an assist. So I get some credit for that. But I'll walk you into that one just like you walked me into that one. Because you've been setting me up since day one.
And you know what's funny? What was funny is you might have heard, like, so when you told me about that joint, I had wrote my rhyme for Imperial quick. So if you listen to the first bar, I said, you can act like you sleep. Because I was like, I'm going to just do my shit before he even has a chance to do his. So I could beat him to the punch. So I was like, you act like you sleep, but the early bird gets the worm. And I was like, all right, you know. But, yeah, then the only other thing in that one, like, I don't know if you call it the cassette line.
Go ahead. What is it?
So I said, you know, the Memorex cassettes are like, you know, so in you I see ass, and me I see ass set.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So the cassette drink. But I think I might have hit Alex or somebody like, yo, I don't know how my rhyme in this Imperial drink because the tempo just doesn't fit me. And I was like, he's gonna smash this shit. And you did, yo. Like
you did. And I knew Little Brother was a definite setup. That was, I mean, not a setup, but that's your groove.
Right.
I hear you. Much respect.
I didn't even pick the beat like thinking that either. I picked it because I thought it would be sort of a challenging beat to have to sort of battle rap to because it's so mellow. You know, it's like a chill beat, right? I was saying, let me throw that in. Plus, it's one of my favorite Little Brother beats. So I was like, oh, well, I'm just picking beats I think are dope. And I knew it would be a little bit of a challenge because of that, you know. But you guys both, you know, stepped it up. MCs do what MCs do. Yeah.
Right.
So the Ninth Wonder line, that joint, you said,
I'll leave you ninth wondering.
Ninth
no,
wondering.
he said ninth wonder, something, head and shoulders.
1, 2, you little brother, I'm Big Pooh.
Right.
Ninth wondering, Kingducta, something like that.
I typed that shit. I'll tell you exactly what you said.
This nigga got the lyric sheet. How you gonna have the lyric sheet on somebody else's rhyme?
He typed it out.
He told he wrote it out. I was surprised. I said, wait, you want me to send my lyrics? He's like, I got them already, bro. I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
Hey, yo, Demont, real talk. This fool, every time he sends his verse in for a round, he sends a Google Doc too. He's like, you gonna know what I said. He sent a Google Doc right along with the MP3, yo.
It's a lot of shit in there people ain't getting, yo. I need somebody to know.
Man.
Oh yeah. No, it's true though. You're right. Cause if you remember one week I was like, yo, I need to read this to y'all because these, you know, they're sending me their bars and it's like you listen to it, you do miss a lot. You have to go back and really, you know, go in on it. Yeah. So I'm not mad at it. I'm just pointing that out. And my man's writing your bars now too, son.
Who
real
named
quick.
one rim batch? Oh, go ahead. My
T.
fault.
Sheet, but before you go in, I've been sitting here thinking about your track 8 theory. So the proof is in the pudding, right?
Okay.
So y'all ready?
Uh-huh.
Midnight Marauders, track 8,
Electric relaxation.
Electric Relaxation.
I know you. Yeah, well, let's go. I want to see what that.
Gangstar, one of the best yet. Track 8, Family and Loyalty.
It's a single. Yeah.
The new Sky Zoo joint, All the Brilliant Things. Track 8, I Was Supposed to Be a Trap Rapper.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And the Ozay Moore and Tall Black Guy, track 8. The Can't Keep Running Away joint.
Okay.
Wow.
Who said this track 8 theory? That was you, one to die.
That's she. She got this damn track 8 theory. Track 8 to be the coldest track.
It's a long known thing in the industry. When you put your albums together, you're supposed to put your 2 hottest singles at number 4 and number 8. Everyone does it. It's like a known thing. I mean, people maybe they don't like follow it as much anymore, but forever that was what like industry standard. They go, what are your 2 hottest songs? You put the hottest one at number 4 and the other hottest one at number 8. So you're not wrong.
I don't remember number 4, but I remember number 8. So I'll have to go back and check for it, but I remember number
because
8.
you have to look like you set the album up and then you got to grab them. So you hit them with that number 4 and then you let the album go a little more and then you bring them back in with those bangers, at number 8.
Okay.
Yeah, psychology problem.
8 o'clock.
Interesting.
It is. You're not lying.
Yeah.
All right. I was just listening to Jason Soto. So number 4. What's number 4, Cook?
I think it's
Gotta
the
go.
one with dang, I can't remember my own stuff with Gangsta Boo.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a single too. That's another story. And then number 8 is probably Philosophy, right?
Yes, it is. Damn.
Yeah, my singles.
Yeah.
My singles, yo.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah, the one with Gangsta Boo didn't end up being a single. That's a long story, but it was. But that's why I put it there.
Okay.
Just keep with tradition too, Cook. You know what I'm saying? I
see you.
Yeah,
I see you. Yeah. Well, next time I'm on, I'm gonna have my GRYSKLL shit on, so don't worry.
Word. All right. Word.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you shouting us out, man, and showing love, man.
Always. Always.
Like, and that oop you gave the demand with one more. All the beats you've been dumping on them are crazy, man. Ridiculous. Your mixes are crazy. Everything is just. You got me like, yo, I'm gonna have to put in some work to follow up any of this this year. So,
thanks. That's what's up, bro. Yeah, man. I mean, I think me and Demond might have a few more in the cut too. We'll see. Yeah. Might have something else working up, And if I'm not mistaken, me and Black Mass got a few still coming too in there somewhere, right?
Indeed.
Working on one right now.
Uh-oh.
Love it.
All right. But the guy that mixes
I wanted you to meet Kareem too, because I think y'all would do something amazing too. Like him, what you do with the Great Hope or something of yours. I think that'd be a really dope piece of something put together.
I'm always down. I love working, so let me know.
I just wanted to say that the dude the engineer is young Rymz, and he's really young. He's 20, reaches 21.
Wow.
And so when we put your beats on, the excitement he gets of who made this, and it's always you, and the way he talks about it fills it up, because he's a student. He's like going to school for this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the same. So he's learning in this process. So I think that's why he gives so much. He doesn't mix the song the same way. Matter of fact, a lot of stuff gets thrown out, and I respect his ear to the point where I say, okay, well, what do you think? This one, this one. Just to test him out. He's a young guy. He reminds me of my son a lot anyway, but.
Well, he mixes good, yo, because the shit's banging.
Yeah. I just wanted to let you know that he's following footsteps type. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's what's up.
Who's mixing your instrumentals? Who's mixing?
Say it again
before you send them out.
Well, I mix the instrumentals myself, but if I can, I'll send the stems so that like this Grease dude or whoever's gonna actually mix a song, I'll allow them to mix the individual tracks. But yeah, I mean, when I send beats, they're mixed by me, but I don't even mix my own shit. Like when I put my stuff out, I have somebody else mix it now. I stopped mixing my own albums like a long time ago. I wanted a quality that was beyond my ability.
Yeah, I'm realizing now. So I knew that a long time ago, but I'm realizing I really got to do that, man. I mean, one more step to the bar for everything. It raised the bar for everything, man. So we appreciate it.
Now that one definitely, I sent him a mixed 2-track because I actually didn't have the stems to that beat anymore because my laptop got stolen a while back and I couldn't remake that one. It was like a done thing. So he just took it and whatever the engineer did with it, that's what it is. Wow. But it had a pretty hot mix on it. I'm not if I'm gonna brag about myself, that one shit was pretty hot.
That joint was flawless, man. I tried to find a flaw, like, yo, well, let me see what's wrong with us. Like, there's nothing wrong. The arrangement, every instrument is exactly where it needs to be. And DeMar's voice was perfectly in the pocket. I mean, his voice was like cotton on that joint. So
yeah, that came out good, man. All of them so far, man, coming out good, man. Yeah. Well, I'm hyped, bro. I'm hyped to doing more shit with y'all.
Yeah, definitely.
GRYSKLL?
As far as we can
GRYSKLL?
Consider you an honorary member. Anyway, man.
I mean, I'm like, almost now, you know what I mean? With all the beats I got floating around out there, yo. I got all y'all battling each other and everything. Right. Who's next? What's up, Dragon Speech Porky? Next, yo.
I gotta ask. Did you see an increase in Patreon subscribers over the past few weeks?
Yeah, I mean it's all going a little slow, but over the past couple weeks, you guys have been pumping the well. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Like, this is the most hype battle yet, bro. Like, every time I open up IG, it was like 6 posts. Yo, event of the week. You're not gonna believe it. 2022 battle royale. It's like, damn, son, you guys are getting busy with this shit.
Yeah,
but I like that though.
That was crazy. Yes. That was wild.
I mean, you guys had pre-battles. Yeah, with that, it's like a pre-battle before the battle, and then, let's have a post-battle, whatever. Then have a post-battle barbecue, whatever.
All right.
Probably thank Bruce Wayne. I think Bruce Wayne orchestrated all this perfectly, man. We call one down Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimate competition and just marketing.
Right.
All that. I
was just listening to an episode. I got sneak attacked. The next thing I know, somebody was setting up to give me the work.
It was E Green, right? E Green was like, "Oh no, was it me?" Was like, "Yo, let's have the black males battle each other."
And then I find out my other man is over there side engineering joint show. Like, wow, it'll be your own people, yo. It'll be your own people.
He ain't even play the one that I engineered, neither. He played the other version.
Oh yeah, he played it.
Oh, did he really? Word.
Whoops. That's funny, man.
Yeah, but it's definitely great entertainment, and we all listening. So,
heck yeah, man, that's what's up.
And Nico's a good dude. I just wanted to say that too.
Oh, my man Neeks, yeah. No, he's a great guy, yo. I mean, he don't even rap, and I was really impressed with his verse. Like, damn, he really put a lot into that. For somebody who don't rap, I was like, all right, that's cool, man.
All right.
And the funny thing is, yeah, Neeks had fallen behind a little bit on episodes. And had he been up to date on episodes, he would have voted. And the very first round would have been a tie. So it would have been a tie between Tobias and Wonder Dial. But because he didn't, because they were so close, it was that one vote. And if he had been up to date, he said he would have voted for Tobias. So that's just another little pat on the back to the GRYSKLL crew.
How y'all not gonna give me my week 3 victory, yo? How y'all gonna not give me my week 3 victory, Cook?
Hey, yo, I'm saying though, man, it just went how it went, man. I had to call an audible, man. And you know what? Just chill, bro. You're doing good, all right? You're doing good. Just chill.
Hey, yo, we throwing spices in the pot.
Look, I need all my numbers.
You don't need a
I
check.
need all my numbers, man. I need all my numbers, yo.
I'm helping you sharpen your sword, son. I'm just helping you sharpen your sword. That's it, you know?
The problem is the blade's been sharpened so much. That shit's about disintegrated now, yo. So I might be done. That might have been all I had left, yo.
It's down to a butter knife.
Yeah, man. That might have been all I had
I want
left.
to ask not a serious question, but just kind of bringing everything together. Like D-Rhymes was telling us about his experience with the Booga basement, and and I'm listening to Off Pod. You were talking about like coming from a Christian background. I also heard the interview on Spotify, and so with his experience, like he was telling us how his experience was. How was your experience coming from that aspect? Because I told them guys, like my aunt used to always play like Christian rap, DC talk, you know, but this is suburban mom, you know what I'm saying? So that's what Christian rap. So what was your experience coming from like that way into?
Well, because I grew up in the church, and you know, my parents always had me in church and church school and all that kind of stuff. But you know, when I wasn't in school, I was out, you know, in the streets doing whatever, you know, with the homies, and I was listening to regular rap. So, like as I got older, like the youth leaders at church and stuff would try to play me. Yo, you guys like rap, right? Check this out, and they would play DC talk and all this garbage, and I was like, oh hell nah. At this point, because of that time in Christian rap, I've met all those fools, like, and they're whatever, they're cool, I guess, but you know, but I remember when I felt like, you know, I want to rap for the Lord, you know, I was just in youth group, you know, just a kid. But I remember saying like, God, I'm down to do this, but I am not going to rap like that. I'm going to do it how it's supposed to be done. You know, like if that's what Christian rap is, that's not me. I'm not doing that, which was that DC talk, that corny shit. Yeah. And then, you know, I just kept it real, man. I bought a beat machine and started sampling. I didn't do whatever they were doing. And I was making like real hip hop. And that's how I started, you know, doing it. And then, you know, you just navigate through an industry that's just as bullshit as the regular industry. And I mean, there's a much longer answer to that question that would take up another 2 hours. But essentially, you know, there was a lot of good stuff, but I mean, it got me to where I was at, and you know.
Okay, I was shocked with D say that the underground was just as corrupt as the overground, so to speak. So I just wanted to pose the question from the church side of things. So
yeah. I mean, I came up in both markets at the same time too. So once I got like with LA Symphony stuff, it was all, we was doing club shows and just hip hop events, as well as, you know, some church shows too. So it was all kind of weird, but you know.
I just want to get one question in there. That's okay. What's up to D-Rhymes? How are you?
Peace, bro.
And just now, I heard both of you guys talking about technology. When I think about hip hop, I think about how where is that place in the Bronx, that street, Sedgwick Avenue?
Sedgwick.
Sedgwick Theater.
And when I think about it, I think about how much technology influenced the music. So there was the two turntables, and then finding that little groove in between the music and looping it. That was one of the beginning steps of hip hop. The technology was built, the technology was crafted, and then we were able to articulate our voices through that. When I hear some of the new music, and I heard we talking about earlier that we might be down with some of the new music or might not be down with it, I can't help but think about how technology plays a role. The music plays a role. So my question is, in what way might you both think that technology plays a role in hip hop and the sustainability? And also in terms of how we may or may not like some of the other genres, but they are reflecting, they are responding to the technology that is available to them. You know, the beats, the being able to do things at home. And part two, I feel like whenever there's a new style, there's always like one person who will kill that new style. And when they kill that new style, some of the people who were there before may or may not like it because they may or may not feel the lyrics on it. But the person who kills that style, they catch it. I'm not gonna say any names, but they catch that style. And then a lot of the youth culture, they gravitate to that because that's something that's not being done. And then later on, a person who does really care about catching the memes and the themes of the people of the time will then catch that style and add that layer to it. So my two-parter is like, in terms of technology and its influence on the culture and how hip-hop changes, and in terms of sort of like the cadence changes and how one person catches that cadence and then people come after that. I would say, for example, for me, Nas, he came, his cadence changed everything. For me, Kool G Rap came, his cadence changed everything. A few others. So can I ask, what do you two, our guests, how would you respond to that in terms of technology and the changing of cadence and its influence on hip hop and its sustainability?
Go ahead, D-Rhymes.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. That's a great question. I remember even the first time I saw somebody using Fruity Loops, a software to make beats, whereas, you know, the producers I were around, they were using the MPC or the SP1200, you know, and I saw a kid making all kind of beats off of a computer, you know, and Fruity Loops, and it was confusing to me. I'm like, yo, kid, what are you doing? Like, it's gonna be impossible, right, for you to, for whatever for you to even match up what's coming off of these beat machines, right? And then I think the first official producer I heard that was using Fruity Loops was Ninth Wonder, and how one of the songs on the Jay-Z, I forgot what album it was.
Threats.
Yeah.
Threats.
Kelly sample.
Right. You know, was a Fruity, you know, he did Fruity Loops, you know, and it was just like, okay, I think that was one of my first experiences in noticing that, you know, and I noticed Ninth Wonder, if, you know, I've seen him in interviews. So even as the technology moved along where he would produce, say something, and he would be, you know, forward thinking like that, where he's producing off of Fruity Loops, he still had certain things intrinsically within him that would allow him to still hold on to certain dynamics of such boom bap rap. You know what I mean? So Fruity Loops was truly a tool for him, you know, but it didn't. So even as outlandish as it seemed, he still was able to bring some of the old school dynamics of hip hop and the principles into how he was using, you know, a beat machine on a computer. And I think that's what we were talking about earlier, you know, making sure that no matter how forward we're moving, right, that we make sure that we get everybody right and understand that these things has to move forward with it, as well as innovative as the new technologies are going to be. Otherwise, technology it moves so fast that if you don't slow things down a little bit, that we end up losing some of the cultural aspects of beat making or music making, because technology is very, very, very fast. So I would never say, try to bang on technology, but it just speaks to what we were speaking about earlier. We have to make sure that everybody gets right, and is adapting with the times, but we're bringing in those fundamental foundational parts of that culture and how we always did our music, regardless of the technology.
I'm interested in your response, Cook.
Yeah, so I agree with what he's saying. I think technology, you know, kind of going back to the start of your original question, I think we as a culture have always taken what we have and created something dope with it, no matter what it is. That's why it was 2 turntables and a mic, because at the time they took all the music programs out of school or whatever, and kids didn't know how to play instruments. They weren't going to be Earth, Wind, and Fire anymore. They had to figure something else out, and that's how hip hop emerged. And all along the way, you're right, we start to implement the new tools, drum machines, on and on and on. For me personally, you know, I started making beats. I grew up playing the piano and singing with my dad and my family and stuff like that. Everybody played instruments and stuff, but hip hop was my music. And when I started rhyming, I was like, you know, I started rhyming in like middle school, and nobody would make me beats. So I was like, well, fuck this, I'm gonna make my own beats. So then my parents helped me get my NSP 1200, and I started making beats. And you know, again, you just keep working. You know, you just use what you got. In my natural journey, I ended up getting an ASR 10. But how technology opens up for me personally, I said I will never get rid of the ASR 10. And I had a homie who was using Ableton Live on a laptop. And he was like, bro, with your keyboard skills and all that stuff, you're going to love Ableton Live, I promise. So I started producing with him, and I said, yeah, this is cool, but I'll never get rid of my ASR 10. Bro, the second I got my own version of Ableton Live on a laptop, I was like, I am never touching that ASR 10 again, because technology all of a sudden allowed me to do all these things I always had in my brain that I couldn't do with a drum machine or with a keyboard sampler. All of a sudden I could do with this software program. Like if I wanted to manipulate samples in a certain way, I could do it all of a sudden. Things I would hear, I would actually hear, you know, things I hear in my brain, all of a sudden I would actually hear coming out the speakers. So I was like, yeah, I love technology and I embrace it. And I think that what you're talking about when it gets into waters that we might not like is because now you can literally get a program, you pick it, Logic, Ableton, any program, and you can basically buy or download MIDI melodies and MIDI drum patterns. I mean, you could just click and drag, and that's when it starts to really become repetitive, and that's when we start to feel it, because you can feel it. Even if it's a trap song or a pop song, if it's from somebody's heart, you can feel it. And if it's just somebody doing what somebody else does, you can feel that too. So that kind of goes into the second part of your question, right? If a person is like, yo, for real, I am a pop rapper, and that's deep within my heart, and I love it. Give me all the trap beats, give me all the 808s, give me all that, because I love it. You may not like that music, but you can feel that authenticity, and that is where original styles will come from. And then it's a whole other bigger question with the industry and money making, that people start to look for carbon copies so that they can flood the market and make a bunch of money too. And kids will be glad to be a carbon copy if they can get a chance to make music and become a star and make money and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, with whatever tools we got and however far technology goes, I mean, it sounds so cliche, but it really is all about keeping it real. Like if you really are just, this is me, whatever instrument or whatever, I could have a ukulele, bro, and somebody's playing a tambourine, but you'll feel that shit because it's super in, you know, it's coming from deep within you. You know, that's the way I would answer that.
D-Rhymes, do you make beats at all?
I used to.
Okay.
I'm just getting back into the track of rhyming. So eventually, I will get back. Yeah, definitely.
And you were on an MP at the time?
MP.
Okay.
MP, yep.
Daddy, feel myself.
Oh, that sounds like my house. Daddy.
Yeah. But you know what? I think
you have something that's going on with your production that just really, really puts you in a pocket. I mean, is there like a crew signature that comes with that, or is it all 100%?
You talking
in the room? Yeah, you cook.
Yeah, nah, it's just me. Like I you know, like I said, I've been playing the piano, singing, like literally all my backyard parties growing up. We never had a radio on, a DJ. It was us playing the music. My dad, his friends singing, you know. So I just grew up in that environment. So I have like a real musical ear. And one thing that I always say is like a gift / curse. I never forget songs. Like when I hear them, they're just in my mind. So like I'll be making beats and I'll be like, yo, it's almost like I could see the record behind me, like, yo, there's this sample on this one, and I know it, and so I could hear like the key signature and all that because I've been trained like piano wise. So that's helped me. But for a long time I didn't really play on top of my beats, like, you know, keys or strings or pianos and stuff like that. And I had homies telling me all the time, like, yo, your beats are dope, but yo, you play keyboards, man. Start playing some bass lines, you know. And I thought, nah, I ain't trying to do that. That's that, you know, that's that radio shit, yo. But once I opened myself up to that, and especially again, once I got Ableton Live, and it became so easy to make them sound like they're cohesive. Because when I first started playing, you could tell it's like samples and playing, and they just weren't meshing together. But once I learned how to really make it sound like the strings might have been in the sample, who knows, or those pianos might have, you know, then I felt like that opened my production up too. And it keeps it, you could be true school, you could keep that soul in it, but you also can progress with the times. You know, it's a delicate balance, but you could do it, you know what I mean? And part of that for me personally was incorporating and playing more on top of my beats, you know, not being afraid to do that.
That's dope. So D-Rhymes, you said you use an MP yourself too? Thank you.
Yeah. I used to do production. Also, I would just set up ideas of beats that I wanted, and then maybe I would give it to somebody that was you know, more skilled with it. But I was pretty proficient on the MP. Yeah, it was just something about that, and the SP12. He said the SP1200. He originally copped like that. What was that? 8-bit.
Yeah, it wasn't even more than a Sega Genesis. It wasn't
8-bit. You know what I mean? Like just that sound. That was coming from those beats that those guys were doing. Actually, it was a kid I used to work with. He was he was a student under Pete Rock, because Pete Rock was you know,
SP12 dude.
SP dude. SP, you know, and you know, to see even those producers get up off of those machines and move forward with the times, it shows it can be done, you know. But it's definitely, you know, you move on with the times, and you could introduce, you know, a new philosophy of thought into how you make these beats with the technology, especially to the youth. You know, if you're taking them on as a mentor, you know, because you know, where are you going to find an SP1200 at right now? You know, so there's
underneath this bed right here. I got it wrapped up nice and safe, bro. I got it.
Wow, that's dope, bro.
They're making a successor too, right? Aren't they making like? Don't they have a 2400 now or something like that out?
It's by a different company though. But Isla Instruments they got the S2400. It's out.
I doubt purists love the idea. I don't know.
I mean, I even have a software. I have a software on my computer now where it's a 3D SP1200 on your desktop, and somehow it's been able to harness that sound of the SP. Where even they gave it to some of the production legends, and they like, yo, it has that swing and that sound of an SP1200. You know, so that's technology too. You get what I mean? The fact they could have an SP on your laptop sounding like that, man, and still give you that feel, you know? So technology is, you know, is unbelievable.
Yeah. And Cook, you talk about loving the how you used to love the ASR. I remember for years I was looking for an ASR emulator for the PC, kind of like that SP emulator.
Yeah. They said there's a great majority of people who have Pro Tools on their computers but never touched it. I forgot what the percentage was, but I'm in there. I got it.
Word.
But I made the conscious decision to be an MC versus a producer a while back. But that's just me. But yeah, a lot of people want it. They know they need it, but you actually have to put the work in too, as well. You got to
put in the work.
Learn your craft.
Now, is it actually Pro Tools, or is it people just calling a DAW Pro Tools?
No,
you know?
I can
Actually, Pro Tools.
Yeah. But keeping in tune with the technology talk, I actually heard on your show today, but NFTs, and even with DRYMS, with what you're doing with comics, like, is that something that you're thinking about?
That's a biggie moving forward, right?
Yeah.
Talking about adapting with the times, because now you're talking about a whole nother level of potential independence. You know, putting things on a decentralized blockchain. You know, I mean, my head exploded when my boy told me that. I said, "What?" And I mean, just exploded. And I mean, I've been knee deep in research since then. It's been over a year now. So I think it's necessary for any kind of independent artist, or, you know, even if just casually you just like exercising your art, you know, and then the ability to put it out on the market and to see what it do, you know. I've been in talk with guys that are in that crypto market, and I'm gonna tell you what, I mean, this one guy, he's really considered kind of like a whale in that market. And he said one of the biggest things moving forward will be the hip hop collectible market. He said, do your people realize that though? You know? And even in just, you know, light conversations I had with homies, they don't want to mess with it. There's a lot of skepticism, I think, naturally, and part of that is conditioning, right?
That's
like
facts.
We're very skeptic about things like that when you're talking about having to give something up, you know, such as ownership. But I don't think we can afford not to look into it, you know. And I know
Mr. Mr. D-Rod, can I just comment on that? I think what you're saying is so powerful. We've been having a lot of those discussions about that. And I think like you said, that's the new wave. And I think there's going to be, I think part of what I wanted to talk about today also was that, and I think you mentioned it before, Mr. Cookbook also, number one, when it's a new technology, we got to let it out, because the confinements of our own mind, the parameters of our mind, can't understand the entirety of the genius that thing can be understood for. And then there might be some shorty, there might be somebody else, they're going to just come in and be the new Rakim. They're going to come in and be that new person, that new shorty low, that new whoever it is, they just come in and just take it to another level. Another thing about the NFTs, I think it's going to give, and we've been talking about that a lot. I talked to Mr. Pitchfork about that a lot. I think it's going to be allow us to have more control over what we have. And but like you said, systemic issues. Like we've been that kind of like, some of my students sometimes we talk, and they're like, "Yo, how you get here? Why are you here? Because you talk like us. You talk like us." I don't know about doing that. That's what they say. I said, I just, you know, I'm from just like you. I was born in Brownsville. I just kept walking and walking and walking, just like you. But the key thing is, like, a while ago, I was just like, I told my students, this is the question I have for y'all. Do you go to school all your life to be able to work for somebody else? Or do you go to school to one day get your own freedom of capital, technological capital, financial capital, and the like? And like what you were saying, I feel like we're so conditioned to not even understand our own power. One more thing on this note, like I was saying to the fellas before, as rappers, we have cultural capital. Like our culture, who we are, is just dopeness. So somebody else will just see how dope this rapper is, take it, and just start selling it. I'm selling the you-ness. Keep being you. Dress more like you. Speak more like you. The unique way of your neighborhood, and I'm gonna sell it, and then give you a little 10% on that. With the NFTs, all of that can become ours, and then we can keep track of it. I don't know if I'm talking too much, but the NFT is going to be the new label for ourselves. We get it out there. I give it to Mr. DRYMZ. He has it. He holds it up. He holds it, and he'll always know who gave it to him. He'll always know that. And if you flip it, he'll remember that he can make money off of that thanks to the person who gave it to him. You can put how much it costs, where it came from, who you can sell it to, what percentage. You can put contracts on it. So I think that NFT is going to be a new form of freedom. And when you have that, it's going to be like just us being us will allow us to be more free. And then, add to our community.
Let me ask you this, man. How do you feed both machines, though? Do you feed this machine the actual product and then the NFT, you go digital, or do you go NFT and no hard copies and all that? How do you feed both machines at the same time?
You know where I think the key is? I think the key is community building.
Sir.
Yeah.
Because when you can build a use case to the NFTs for that community.
The use cases, yep. That's what's up.
What's the use case of the NFTs? But besides whatever the value of it would be to it, because it's a fly piece of art or whatever it is, what's the use case? And when you could define that within the community, because also you have the NFTs, but then you also have the creator coins, which could also be used to partner alongside the NFTs. If you could build a community, around this, around talent, and, there's no telling what you can do with that in the form of some kind of social economy amongst artists or amongst a community, amongst small business owners. All of that you'll be able to pull in together around NFTs and creator coins. You know what I mean? So like the potential for independence there is just huge. So going back to what D is asking, like, do you feed the machine or do you do that independent? The way I see it, I imagine it more so being something that you build within the community, and then you look to scale it from that point, but you build it. So even if it's just a crew that you have, kind of what they were saying before about, the resharing, you might know 5 heads.
Okay.
I might know 5 heads. I might know 5 heads. You come together as a collective, you could start a small community, and then you could scale it over time as people become more educated on what a NFT is, because, we're skeptics. We're skeptics at first, so when you start with people that that you can actually build with, then you can educate them on that, So to me, I think the real potential for it is as a community. Yeah.
Okay.
I think like instead of trying to manage the machine, scatter the seeds to the wind and let it grow. Instead of trying to control it, how can I do that? How can I do that? Let it out. Let the seeds go out, and everybody starts growing in their own way, and they start spreading seeds and growing in their own way. All types of fruit start to come to the garden, and we can all eat.
Yeah, like right now, nobody really knows what this is all leading to, but this is like being likened to the first internet boom or to the boom of social media. This is a kind of a world-changing event that's coming up right now. Not just NFTs. NFTs represent one aspect of this, but it's really just all about business on the blockchain and how that's going to empower the individuals and create more direct one-to-one relationships. So this really is changing the world here. This is the beginning of a whole new world coming up, and you guys know what I say about the tinfoil hat. We can go on the tinfoil hat side of this, but I'd rather not, to be honest. Because that's what's going to get our people left out of the chance to make something out of this opportunity right now. We got a chance to make money on the front end of this. On the back end, it's not going to be as lucrative. There are a whole bunch of people who made a shitload of money at the front end of the .com boom, made a shitload of money at the front end of the social media boom. And right now, the same thing's happening here. But there's also a lot of fighting going on about this right now too, because of the ecological impact. Due to coins like or tokens like Ethereum, which is really damaging the environment. I just saw a post this evening on Twitter that really made me think about it too. Like, okay, one of the things that they were saying about this is that the ecological impact of something like Ethereum is hurting the Black and brown communities even more, because all this energy that's being consumed is causing our utility bills to go up. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm just saying there's many arguments going on about this too. So this is one of the things that's scaring our people away from this environment too. So I think this is one of the reasons why I think it's important for us to try and do as much as we can to research this and to educate all the people that are closest to us in the communities, in the hip hop community and Black and brown communities. Because if we get left out of this, we're already on the bottom rung of society. But if we get left out of this, we're really going to be in a bad place. So I kind of take this with a sense of urgency. And I think that's why you guys hear me talk about it so much. I really think there's something we can do powerfully together if we all find the same common message and push it at the same time. So I'm glad to hear y'all talking about this. Sorry to be rambling about that, man.
You're spitting the truth, man. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Cookbook, what do you think about this? Can we get your
I think crypto is the whole market. Web3, as they call it, is very important. And as kind of tagging on to what you were saying, Pitchfork, as innovative as our culture always is, oftentimes we don't profit off that innovation, right? We it kind of goes back to the whole conversation we've been having about, the first people to make it aren't usually the ones that get to really profit off it. They get the props. Oh, that's the fool who created it. But he made that style up, but he doesn't always get to be the one that gets rich off that style or whatever. And being as that we are so innovative and creative, there's definitely a gazillion ways that we can create all kind of wealth for us in this market. I mean, I heard a story. This is when I said this is stupid. This NFT shit is just stupid. I mean, in a good way, but like in a stupid way too. Because you see them, digital apes and stuff going for hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's one thing. At least there's a little art to that. This Filipino cat, this dude from the Philippines, he just went on his Instagram and just got all selfies and just minted all his selfies as NFTs and made $1 million. That's how stupid this is. That there are people out there with a bunch of money and they're just looking for anything to kind of look cool. Like, yeah, I own this Filipino dude's picture. Check this out. He's eating ice cream. Check it out. $500,000. It's just, there's so much. And with this much creativity that we have, then how much better could we do? Our own drops, our own mints, our own things like that. So that's about all I have to add, because all y'all have really said a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to say
about the Nas NFT though, so it's really dope that you shared that. I appreciate you sharing that, because I was on the line on the Twitter space that day when Nas was doing it, and I was like, I know I'm too late. I'm not even gonna try. But hearing your experience really opened my eyes to how much you got to go through to get in on one of these things. It's not about trying to get there on the day of the drop. You really do have to be on a white list to have some relationships. It really is political on these big drops.
No doubt. And you heard what I said. I know a guy who's good friends with Nas and his manager. All I had to do was be like, yo, what's up with that drop? But because I'm a little less educated about this space, I should have been more educated, even though I am researching just like y'all. I didn't realize, because this was going to be my first NFT purchase, that I should have just, reached out to the homies, man, and used my little, connects. Yeah, man. So, better luck next time. Man. So absolutely. Well, that's why I wanted to share it too, because we share it in a fun way and I joke around about it, but it is a cautionary tale to all of us too. Like, yo, always look for your network, your resources and stuff like that, and utilize everything you got. I mean, that's been the key to any success that I've had, especially in the last, since I was a solo artist too, has been reaching out into my network, not just trying to do it by myself, but going like, yo, I know big players in this game, people who are, known globally, and I don't be asking them for nothing. Like, ask that motherfucker for some beats. Ask that dude for a verse. Like, what y'all, that's your network. What did you get to know these fools for other than friendship? It's like, they're right there. So, you know what I mean? That's key to everything, whether it's music, crypto, anything,
That's that sense of community D-Rhymes was talking about earlier.
Exactly.
And I'll say, yo, Cook means that 100%. Y'all probably heard me say it before, yo. He's done more for me as an artist, just like I'm gonna call this dude and see, and like, then he'll come back like, yo, what you think about this? What you think about that? Y'all want to do this? And it's like, all just out of love and sharing, yo. So, definitely when he's talking about community and community building, I can co-sign on that 100%, yo, because like I said, man, and I'll say it till I'm on my deathbed, yo. From the day we started talking, never one time I've reached out and he's like, come on, dog, you're killing me. Or even, you know what I'm saying, that I was getting on his nerves. And then he'll come back like, all right, you said A, but what about B, C, D, and E? So, and I think that's, as we look at this other stuff, that's what we need, that sense of community, right? That sense of...
Yep.
And that needs to be rewarded too. So just real quick, I know you on your Patreon, I looked at your tiers and your levels, and I see you got some coaching options for people and all that. And I think as much as you've given us, we owe you a serious subscription. So it's coming. We'll give a proper subscription.
I appreciate it.
You've done a lot for us, and I think we do owe paying into what you giving out. Because
so they give me my third win, I'm not paying for jack.
Hey yo, man, I do coach and do consultations with artists and all kinds of stuff like that. And that's been a good way for me to get back and also monetize, all of the experience that I do have. And it's funny because I was coaching somebody this morning, and I was talking about exactly what we're talking about now. And I was saying one of the reasons why I am the way I am, because people act like they don't want to approach me. I'm like, why? I'm just me, whatever. But one of the reasons why I am that way, like what Wonder Da was talking about, is because I know my experience. I would look around the LA underground rap scene or the West Coast, whatever you want to call it. And it was like, there was always this poverty mentality. It's like dudes will get on, they be touring, they make this little money, and they think that's the only money that's available. You know what I mean? It's like they're swimming in circles in a little pond. And I kept saying, yo, y'all, we not in a pond, we in an ocean. There's plenty of money for everybody. There's plenty of success for everybody. But people would like front on me, like, yo, you know me, dog, LA Symphony. I've done 1 million shows with you. You're not gonna work with me right now. We can't go on tour. You worried about me, And I could tell you individual stories where 100% I've been blocked because people feel threatened. Like, I can give you multiple names that you already know, and you'd be like, damn, Cook, but I don't do that. What I learned from that was I'm not going to be that way. Like, if I got resources and I got something to contribute, I'm going to contribute it. If I don't got it, I don't got it. But if I got it, I'm going to find a way to give it. You know what I mean? And then when you want to get that deeper level, then you got to hire me as a coach. But you know what I'm saying? Just playing. But for real, that's real talk. That's where that comes from. It's me getting fronted on.
Yeah, that's well said, man. Wow.
Mm-hmm. You getting fronted on and not doing it to the same, keeping that same energy. Switch that energy.
I'm gonna have to do an off pod episode and drop names so you guys can hear it.
Ooh, yes.
and I could tell you also, Cannabis, right? Back in '96, he was the first artist talking about we have to create websites. He had cannabis.com where he had millions of followers, and it's in the stage of websites that was basically not even being used by the industry at that time.
Yeah.
And he was trying to bring that to anybody that would listen to him. Really, really intelligent brother. You know what I mean? He ended up going on into the military. He had some experience with computer engineering and stuff. Just very intelligent, but nobody in the industry wanted to even listen to what he had to say about websites. And then it ended up being a tool, the biggest tool that the industry has, right? Because everything is getting done via a website. You know what I mean? Even, you know, whether you're on a computer or you're getting on a phone, whatever you're getting on, you're going to a website. And, you know, this is going to be one of those moments too, where you're going to be, this is the, what would you call it? The ability to get in at this time for something. All it's going to take is your time. You know, a lot of this stuff isn't cultivated. You have to educate yourself. Everybody's trying to figure it out, which means it's wide open. This is a unique time and period, you know, a unique period of time. So, you know, it just reminds me of when he was barking back then and nobody was listening to him. And I said, if I could ever get in on the front end of something like that again, I would never, ever not listen to something like that, you know? And I think that's where we're at right now with this whole NFT. You know,
the whole crypto market in general, not
the
just
whole crypto, I mean, the whole crypto thing. Like it really is a unique time right now. If you take the time to educate yourself, you know, you're going to be better for it. And I just think as a community, if it's done as a community, you know, as everybody is searching and finding things, and, you know, it'll be easier to, you know, to compile everything, you know, and bring in good ideas, and just the way energy flows when each one teaches one. You know what I mean? Just there's something that moves things forward that way, you know? So either you're going to be somebody that plays things like a scumbag and you're always trying to get ahead of people, or you have to get on that each one teach one vibe, you know, within the community, man. And yo, let's do it together. Let's figure it out together. And once you're able to build that foundation, then you don't really have to worry about the machine. You know, we have our own machine. You know, we have our own mechanisms that we're using to move all of this stuff forward. You know, so for me, it's an exciting time. I love learning. So I've never been scared to learn or read books, you know, or to get into something I'm not familiar with. And that's the time that we're in, you know. So even when I'm speaking to other artists, they're just not really too interested in it, you know, because it hasn't been cultivated. They don't know what that is yet. By the time it gets defined, it's going to be too late, bro. They're going to tell you what it is. And then you can believe what they say, because they can tell you anything, because you don't know. You know?
You're going to make pennies off of it instead of the real bank you can make off of it now. I mean, this is life-changing opportunities, I think, right now.
I mean, who negotiated like those Spotify?
Yeah.
When was that meeting and who was there?
Yeah.
Who negotiated that? See, that's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And then you're right, and this is the regime we're under right now. The Spotify, the streaming.
It's you know, and I'm not banging on Spotify because it's an opportunity for exposure. Right. So you can use it to expose yourself to other markets, but who negotiated those scales? You get what I mean? Like, was there somebody representing independent artists or even the hip hop culture, or, you know, even when I'm looking at the categories, you know, that they're putting certain music into, you know, I'm like, yo, who negotiated this? We don't want that to happen with this cryptocurrency, NFT, create a coin bit at all, you know? So I encourage anybody, any artist, whatever your art may be, I encourage them to, you know, put in the work, man. Educate yourself. Do the knowledge, you know.
What are some of the tools you're using to learn?
There's a couple of different websites that I use. I'm looking at, what is it? Marketcoin.io. marketcap.com, where it shows you all of the different cryptocurrencies, you know, and then it also shows you which ones are NFT currencies, because there's so much coming out. It's gonna create a bubble in a short amount of time, because too much of it is coming out at one time, and it's going to create a bubble. So, you know, in some of these websites like that, you're able to create these filters, you know, and what are you actually looking for, you know, and, you know, use the tools to filter stuff out, and then do that, you know, do the research on it, read up on them. A lot of them have their own websites. A lot of them already have their Discords, you know, so you want to check for how active, how many people are in their community, you know, what are their missions, you know, do they have use cases for anything, you know, what cryptocurrency are they using? Are they using Ethereum? Yeah, Ethereum is an issue. You know, I'm looking into the Solana. The Solana is built on the same blockchain as Ethereum, but it doesn't have all of the environmental hazards of Ethereum as far as using that same amount of power. It's a lot of digging you got to do, but do it.
And I've heard that you got to really pace yourself, because a lot of people are burning out with the pace at which you got to really research this stuff if you really want to be like cutting edge with it. So I think this is where having a community of people sharing information kind of lessens that load. And one of the places I found, like where I get some of my research or some of my information or leads, is from Twitter Spaces.
Yeah.
There are a lot of conversations going on over there. There are a lot of people who are really trying to pull people on as community and trying to help people and coach people through this. And I love what I'm seeing happen there. And that's kind of what I think might need to happen in the boom bap space, or in our realm of hip hop, to kind of bring people on board and kind of put that together down there. So hopefully somehow through all our connections, one of us or some of us will come together and start putting some of that together. And I mean, it's good to hear that you're this well versed in it, man, because I always respected your mind, the way you rock, and then Cook, the relationships you build, and it sounds like you always at the forefront. I'm hoping to be able to tap both of y'all to get some more information on these, or just kind of your experience, because it sounds like you have some good inside information that will help all of us grow, man. So I appreciate what you guys.
Absolutely.
Because this guy that was showing me, you know, he was, you know, I had to vet him, and that's the beauty of the blockchain, right? Like what my man Comics is talking about, how the transparency is there to see, do you own what you say you own, and where did you get it from? How much did you pay? You know? And so when this guy was talking to me about hip hop, he said he loves hip hop. And he said hip hop is going to be one of the most biggest, it's going to explode on the NFT scene, man. Hip hop collectibles are going to be huge, you know? And as an artist, if you don't want to get in on this, you know, you're going to miss the boat again, you know? And, you know, he told me straight up how it is. He said, you're a people. He was being straight up real. He said, you're a people. You know? And that just hit me upside the head, man. I'm like, man, there's no...
You're a people? Like you're a people.
No, he was saying like black folks.
Okay.
You're people like us. Yeah.
All right, I got you. Sorry.
You know, because the way they value things is different how we value it. You know, the culture. They know you know, a lot of that stuff, you know, how is that being... I always say that about hip hop. It's amazing to me when I look at these small little dots on the map where hip hop came out of. When you look on the map, there's small dots. There's small dots on the map. And look how much influence came out of these small dots and how it affected the entire world. They're very cognizant of that. These people that are out to make money. So they know truly what hip hop is going to do. This is just another realm, but hip hop is going to do the same thing over there. You know, But is the artist going to get on board, you know, or are they going to get ahead of it, you know, to really, you know, take ownership of what you guys should take ownership of? It just really hit me upside the head when he said that, you know, and even just speaking to other artists, they're kind of just there not really wanting to hear that.
Yeah, they're still catching up to what the Jones was 5 to 10 years that way.
Yeah.
All right. Like
can't miss this.
Yeah.
Can't miss this, bro.
I hope we get to share resources on this then, man, 'cause this is dope. And definitely if you're pushing something as an NFT and you need some assistance or some backing or just some extra voices, man, either one of y'all say the word, and I'm sure you got all of our voices pushing and amplifying however we can.
Yes, sir.
We got a collection coming up soon too, so we'll probably be reaching out for a little support as well, man.
Okay.
I love that. That's what's up.
We got the artwork done already, but it's like you said, it's about community and utility. We got the utility figured out quite a bit. We got to, you know, handle a lot of formalities still for it, but I think we got something we can do for our people. Part of it is this teaching us, spreading the word. That's part of the utility is spreading the word to our community. So yeah, every bit of support will be appreciated, man.
Yeah, dope, man.
Before it gets too late, can I make a request though? As I understand it, and for my ears, Mr. Cookbook, dope producer, and GRYSKLL literally got the name Rhymes in his name. Get the dope rhymes. Is there any kind of collaboration possible here?
There's always possibilities of collaborations, bro. Always.
Oh, what up?
I mean, you already heard. I've been collaborating all through this GRYSKLL crew already. So you know, GRYSKLL, I'm down to see what's up.
Yeah, Cook is actually on our first project twice. He featured on a song in some production. He's on the second one, and you know, we put a single out last year that he produced. So, and then one time and one more, the Mon joints are both Cookbook tracks.
Those are dope, yo.
Respect,
man. Those are dope.
Thank you, man.
Dope.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate that.
The Mon, of course, you know, came through with the energy and the fire. Those are dope. Those are both fire, man. Fire.
I wanted to say something about that energy because, like we're speaking about community, I had to learn for myself that I'm tough to approach. As far as like even just to say what's up or I'm that way, and I think I became that way. So a lot of this stuff, like Cook was saying, like people can just ask. Like I had those songs for almost 2 years. I got them like tracked out like how an album would sound. And when I finally worked up enough courage to say like, man, can I have this one? You know, like he's like, yeah. He's like, man, you can. You know what I'm saying? Like, do what you can. And so when that energy comes from like that community, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of what you're hearing is built up anticipation of actually wanting to release and say some of these things. And true indeed, like you said, GRYSKLL, that song, One More, it hurts a little bit because what happened last week, my uncle actually did die. His brother. I was referring to his brother. I was referring to his brother, Uncle Ricky, but then Uncle Ted passed away. It's unfortunate, but as a man, Uncle Ted wasn't going to become my responsibility because I'm one of the last people, not last people, but of a certain tribe that's left in Chicago. Everybody's in the suburbs, so Uncle Ted had a habit. You know what I'm saying? So I would go by and check on him, but at one point, his habit was weighing me down. You see what I'm saying? And so when you do give them what they need versus what they want, you know, sometimes the spirit does make a transition. I have to be okay with saying my uncle died because like GRYSKLL was saying, the energy, the water, the balance, the rupture. So when a lot of stuff that comes through with Cookbook song comes from a cultivated place of actually building up enough courage to say it, to ask for it, to perform it, and for it to get mixed down in such a way, and the response. And one of them, I don't know if you heard it, GRYSKLL, I said, abused as a child, I was abused as a child. The response I got from that in my DMs from people, man, I can feel this pain. You know what I'm saying? It happened so long ago. I'm talking about miscorruption of a child, gangsters, gang, coke, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mishandling the kid, all that is in that term. And the reaction that I'm getting from people made me think, like, when people say, like, man, if I could just touch one person, man, I did my job. I used to think that was cliche. That is very real. And I see that now from actually working with a cookbook production, just as production. You see what I'm saying? And knowing what that is. And so just wanted to say thank you, sir. Very much.
That's dope.
Thanks for sharing that too, man.
Yes, sir.
My condolences.
When you broke down those lyrics 2 weeks ago, Damon, like I've listened to that song several times since then, and it's a totally different song now. It's still dope. I think I told you then, like I heard it as like a kind of almost a party song, and now I'm like, yo, I heard all this, like I even knew some of the words, but was missing. Like when you explained, when you were saying it's not that I didn't like the song, I didn't want to have to deal with the song. When you were saying you didn't want to do it, and like you remember, I was like, "What you mean you didn't? What you mean you ain't want to do it?" You know what I'm saying? And then to kind of get that piece, I'm like, "Oh, now I understand." So you know, you being that willing to share, to like, I still can't get that deep into myself, yo. I can talk about my wife and the kids all day.
Right.
I can't, I'm working on it, but I can't, you know what I'm saying? So I like, that song lyrically is even doper to me now because of the understanding behind it. So props to you for being able to share that, yo.
Thank you very much. But this is the unconscious level that I think we're all in. When we're in that zone, this is the zone that we're speaking of, because until somebody asked me, what is One Time all about? I was explaining it like I thought it was somebody else's story, honestly. And it's truly my story.
You told me that when I was in Chicago. You said that when I was in Chicago. You was like, yeah, that's me talking about my homies. I'm like, nah, fam. I can't tell you it's not, but yeah.
But these are the influence of smoking. Like, I understand, like when I'm talking to somebody, sometimes they might be high. That's okay. Sometimes I'm high to the point where I forget the pain. And it is almost so far away from me in a good space that, okay, until my homeboy asked me, last time we just had a drink. He's like, man, that is so dope. And I was like, that was me. I was like, not divorced, but that was my baby mama. I'm the guy, I kick in the door. I almost took it to a man. You know what I'm saying? That is so my story. But when I listen to it, I can almost cry. Sometimes I do cry, but at the same time, it's still an enjoyable, such a song where it had to be said and had to be shared. Like MidSkoOl was saying, those are the things that have to go in the wind for those fruits to grow. And I think it is growing. It is growing as a community. And with GRYSKLL, it's giving people like an umbrella to come up under and still get a lot of what we have to offer. Like Alex was here the other day. Just an hour or two. You missed Alex Tobias. He was just here, and his whole transition with hip hop and his father. I think that's such a beautiful story that through hip hop, he's unlocking and how to deal with real life, hardcore, emotional shit. And that's the gift that we're trying to do.
But then he get the feedback from his father.
Yes.
And then like you could almost feel him exhale.
Yes.
When he shared the response he got from his father. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, so it's yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to dip soon, but I want to add to this. Just, I think like music is emotion. Even when you're just dancing in a party, that's an emotion, right? Music is supposed to evoke something inside of us. And hip hop, you know, some of the if you really think, I mean, there's a lot of lyrics that you can think of where it's just bars and you're like, wow, that's dope, and it hits you. But if we all really dig in and think back to the things that really mean something to us, it's going to be an emotional lyric. Something like, I had a homie who got killed, and I don't know, I didn't really feel it. And then one day, They Reminisce Over You came on, and I just started crying. And it's because that artist, CL Smooth, was open enough to open his heart to talk about his pain, and it was a way for me to open up. And I always notice when I say stuff, like, I love patterns and cadence, and I'm never gonna not love that. But when I say stuff about my dad passing or some shit that happened to me in my life, those are the things that I get like hundreds of comments on Instagram and Twitter and all that from. Oh man, when you said that thing about your dad, man, it just hit my heart. Or when you said that thing, that story you told about what you went through on that, you know, like even my last project, you know, I got a little diss by the Hip Hop Digest. That's okay. But all of them said their favorite song was Blood Type. And that was where I got really, really personal about my history, just, you know, me and who I was. And so just to contribute to that, that's like it's almost like the final level, right? We all want to learn how to rhyme and bar out, and let me spit these metaphors, dog. You know, we get like that, and that's normal as men, you know. And we're started this conversation talking about battling, right? So that's natural in us. Like, we gonna go at them, but that final level, not just in rhyming, but as men, right, is to be able to crack that deep part in us where we can express our emotion in the proper way and allow it to come out, because it always heals us and it always heals somebody else. You know what I mean? And if dMension can I can see what he's saying when he says he can be hard to approach, because you look hard, fool. You look like somebody will knock somebody out. Like, you just got that look.
What I tell you last week? Yeah.
But he's the nicest dude. But he's such a nice dude, right? But then you see dMension say, yo, this is my story. I was abused as a child. That's like, whoa, this dude, he actually said that. It allows other people to say, well, then I could say it. I could tell my story, you know, other men especially, to get the right balance of being hard and what's up, and also be vulnerable, because it helps us in our relationship with our women, with our children, all of that, man. And it can come from music. I mean, everything, you know, my whole life has been music. So that's why, you know, when I speak on this, I really believe it. And I've internalized that. So, you know, I just want to share that, man. I got to get out because speaking to children, my kids I got to shower them. So, but man, I love being in here. Let me know. I'd love to come any other time. I'll jump back in, man. We can chop it up. But next time, none of this emotional bullshit. Yo, let's talk about them bars.
How do we get on this shit? Right.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, fellas.
Appreciate you, fam.
Much love, y'all.
Peace, man. Nice to meet you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Okay.
Hey, yo, I'm finna jump out too, y'all.
All right, man.
All right,
Thanks,
y'all.
man. Take care, bro.
Be safe, man.
Later, man. Hey, thanks again for kicking it with us, D-Rhymes, man.
Yeah, appreciate it too.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Are we all signing off here, or?
I'm gonna be on for a few more minutes unless everybody dropping. Wednesday night is the new Friday for me, fam. So I'm.
It's party night for you.
Yeah, I told y'all this is my favorite night of the week now, yo. So the wife knows she don't even riff. She was like, "Yo, do your thing." Yeah, I got free reign. Deal with Cayman every now and then, but yeah. Shoot.
Wow, that's well said. That's well said. You know, just to kind of move into another subject, but to stay on the same. But like with Cookbook, he has albums, so many albums, and each album has its own identity. And up until he was saying, why he called himself Cook with the Puerto Rican? You know, I'm from Chicago. I live on northwest side. Puerto Rican's very prideful. Until he explained one time in one of the rhymes, like Puerto Rican on the West Coast. Like, I didn't think of that. That's because it's mostly Mexican or whatever.
Mexican, yeah.
That's a dynamic that came across to me in that music versus what I just assumed Puerto Ricans are everywhere. But you know, Anyway.
Yo, but I say this all the time, man. Like your transparency, demand, to me has always been dope. And I don't know that I necessarily realized it was transparency early on. Like I said about one time, when I first heard it, it resonated with me, even though I couldn't really relate to the story. I understood that it was somebody's real story. I didn't know if it was yours. I didn't know whose story it was, but I understood it was a real story. And it came across as, it wasn't mine, but I know people that have similar histories or existence. You know what I'm saying? And then something like Last Supper, which again was maybe a bit more bar heavy and way more aggressive from a you know what I'm saying? It was like Last Supper was the punch you in the face song, right?
Yeah.
It's called up, keep it, but it was still stuff in there that I'm like, yo. And then to get one more, like when I listen to those, those are my 3 favorite songs from you. Like they all just landed with me. But when I listen to all those, each of them is a different layer of you. And I think when I say you make songs the way I wish I could make songs, I don't know that.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
But I don't know. Like Shy hit me on the joint I did with Witchcraft, the Face the Mask joint, and you hit me about a line from Face the Mask.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, it took everything in me to come clean on some of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But but to hear you like it almost sounds effortless for you. Not that there's not emotion to it, but it is. I don't even know how to explain it, but it just hits and it sits there, and it just consumes whatever's happening at that moment in time. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Wow, you gotta write his publicity notes or something.
Nah, yo,
I mean, I'm definitely gonna use that. I'm definitely
you gotta use that, man. You gotta use that.
Yeah.
I listen to, like I was saying about you, dUshawn. Like I listen to people. I'm always thinking about what triggered that thought. Where did that line come from? What was that about? You know what I'm saying? And it's easy to get the braggadocio bars, right? Those are easy. It's the personal stuff, you know, where you got to really dig in and get in touch with your emotions to process some of that. And you know, I'm always give people pride. If you can rhyme, yo. There's a lot of people that can put words together that ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? So when I feel you, I'm gonna big you up. You know what I mean? So that's just how I am.
Yeah, that's one thing I much respect, because when you speak, you like you really, I can see like you really take time to connect to how you feel, and like really look at what is being said, the impact of what is being said, the genesis of what is being said, how it parallels other things that are going on. I'm always looking forward to your insights on hip hop and people's music. Want to Die, it's very powerful right there.
It is
very powerful.
It helped me explain myself. You know, wow.
I can't wait to hear your next song, dUshawn, and hear the Want to Die's take on that.
Well, you know, with GRYSKLL, we got them rolling out every week, right?
Yes, sir.
I got some coming for you guys too, so it's coming soon, man. Can I ask, are we gonna one day have like a dUshawn and GRYMS collaboration?
Why not?
Man, what? For sure.
I was thinking the same, but with him and Want to Die, with both of them being tacticians and real wordsmiths.
And then get that Want to Die in there.
Words, I think it's a dope combo. 2 things. One, about your project, is there a song on there where you really get like personal or intimate on the song?
Yeah, I want to talk
and
more about.
You have a favorite in your catalog that's a personal, intimate song.
Yeah, I got I got some personal stuff. It's very personal, in fact, and that's something brand new for me with the rhymes. Just, you know, I have to find a way to, you know, even to sort out, you know, like what I'm going through. Even right now, man, it's a really tough time. It's been a tough 2 years for me. You know what I mean? But I'm finding a way to put it into the music, to put it into the lyrics, and it's brand new for me. I've been writing so long that I need challenges.
Yeah.
I need challenges. So this is a challenge for me to put the personal into the rhymes. And it's going to be pretty heavy. I think people are going to be, even the last couple of drops I had on Instagram, you know, a couple people said, wow, man, I really like you sharing a little piece of yourself with us. And so, you know, I do things in sparingly to see how people react, because you don't know how they're going to react to it.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that I had a pretty good reaction to it. And so I said, yeah, I'm going to ride with that. So there's going to be some really personal songs, bars, and just overall, just the feeling of the project. It'll be very personal. Yeah, without a doubt.
What makes
do y'all, oh, my bad, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was just listening to some of his stuff just now to become more acquainted. And from what I heard, and then hearing you talk about the personal and just that contribution to the hip hop community, because you're a leader, of course, you're a leader. And then you taking that step as is, you know, Damon and Tobias and you, that's just so powerful for others in our community to also get that out.
Yeah.
Much look forward to that.
Yeah.
Wow. So I was gonna say, like, do you feel that exhale moment after the, like, Damon, did you kind of have that exhale or D-Rhymes when you're, even if they're not recorded yet, as you're just putting those thoughts together or starting to sketch out your approach to that, does the tension increase, or do you kind of feel a relief, or maybe both?
I remember Damon, when you after you did one more, we talked that same night that you recorded it. You were like, "Yo, I'm emotionally drained." That was the first time I heard an MC actually say that to me.
Yeah,
that was actually dope to hear somebody say that. But I didn't realize how deep it was until you broke the song down a couple of weeks, like how it was emotionally draining. So that's kind of like how I'm asking, I guess, you, D, like how D-Rhymes, I'm asking you at this point, like what makes it hard to go in that place? Like Damon, I guess he explained, you know, the real life situations that he had to talk about and how those hurt, and it made the song a whole different song for us. So is there something in particular that makes it hard to go there for you? And then if you've been able to go there, what allows you to get over that hump?
It's weird hearing dUshawn say, you know, he's unapproachable, or sometimes can be seen as unapproachable. It's the same thing with me, and not the most approachable dude. And I think sometimes you make yourself unapproachable, right? So you keep so much so close to yourself, you know. Anything that you're going through, you don't really speak to anybody about it. And when you're unapproachable, that it makes it easier to keep it like that, you know. So, you know, I think from a skill level point or writing literary point, it's not hard at all. It's a personality thing with me, you know. And but I am, one of the things I try to speak to the youth about a lot is self-improvement, things that you need to improve on internally. And you know, I'm not exempt from that at all, you know. So I don't care how many rhymes I've written or how easy it is for me to write a rhyme. I know there's going to be self-improvement in me being able to do this as an MC and just as a person as well. And that's how music has always been my way of doing that, of self-improvement, you know. So that's something, you know, I had to make a conscious effort to try to put into the music, but it's never a thing of the actual writing. You get what I mean? It's more like it's a personality. It's a personality.
It's not like you won't go there. You won't go. It's not. You're not saying you won't go there, but it's right.
Is it a fear of vulnerability thing, or you think it's just a discomfort with being vulnerable? Is it something else completely other than that?
Yeah, so I think it's all of that, man. Yeah, I think it's really all of that. But I'm a very quiet guy. I've always been quiet, even some say shy. But when I start rhyming, it's different. It's different. I feel
Facts.
There's nowhere I feel more comfortable than when I'm in front of a microphone rhyming, you know? So if I am to make myself more transparent or, you know, vulnerable speaking about it, I'd rather do it through a rhyme. You get what I mean? Rather than say it, because I know who I am as an MC, you know? Yeah.
So do you, dUshawn, do you really believe that you're unapproachable? Or do you think that's just okay? But D-Rhymes, you really feel like you may be unapproachable, or you? Now let me ask you this: do you think that has more to do with maybe where you're from?
You're from, yes.
And I ask you that. So when I moved to Virginia, when people got to know me, they were like, "Man, we thought you were mean and unapproachable." And I had to process that. And like, I was like, I asked them, I was like, well, what made you think that? And they said, well, you know, you don't really speak to people. I'm like, you gotta understand where I come from. You don't just speak to random people. So that's not really me being mean. It's just like, you know, I remember moving to Virginia. I went to the mall. And it was like 4 sport bikes parked in the parking lot. And I sat there for like 15 seconds just looking like, yo, every last one of them shits would have been gone at home. Yo, like I had people, I knew people, 2 dudes would ride around in a pickup truck with 2 baseball bats. Leave your bike sitting outside in the parking lot. One in the front, one in the back. Baseball bat through the rim, boom, your shit is going 10 seconds. It takes longer to get out the truck than it does to put the bike in the pickup. Wow. So that environment was just way different from the reality in Virginia. And again, I'm from the suburbs of Jersey. Like we wasn't even in Trenton anymore. It was like the suburbs. But that environment was just different. So, that's why I asked that, D-Rhymes, is like, is it maybe a part of that just the where we're at? Like now I speak to all my niggas, hey, how you doing, Bob? Like I'm a totally different dude. But there's nothing around here that leads me to believe that I don't like. I took my wife to New York a couple years ago. We landed in Philly. I got off the plane. I was a different person. Like I'm like, all right, I'm back. I gotta, head on the swivel. All right, I don't see a thread over there. I don't see a thread over there. I don't see a thread over there. Look behind, and like, all right, we at the room. Lock the door. Bang, bang, bang. All right, we're going to get something to eat. We're going over here, and like we hit. We pulled in the Penn Station, and when we got there, like mid-afternoon. It's like, it's cool. We got back in, the evening, and it's New York at that point in time, right? She's like, get me the fuck out of here now. Like, I'm like, we gotta wait for the train, yo. Like, we stuck. We stuck till the train comes. But I'm in a totally different frame of mind at that point. I see Bo over there. Keep an eye on him. He don't look right. Look what's happening over here. And she's like, what's going on? I'm like, yo, this ain't North Cat, you know what I mean? So I don't know if you think maybe some of that factors into it too, but I know for me, for like having somebody ask me that was eye-opening, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's,
you know,
that's
can I just
crazy.
mention, this reminds me of the this concept that I came across a while ago. Like, and what you're saying about how when you travel to different places, you know, you have a different perspective. Like when I traveled abroad, for example, I traveled abroad for a while, DRhymes, in like a few different countries. I lived in Brazil for a few years, Japan for like a few years, and a few other places like that. And then, you know, it was a process. The first how many years was a process of unlearning. So, you know, I would walk around, I'm like, yo, what up, my, yeah. And then some people who respect me, they'd be like, yeah, what up, my, and like, oh, we about to fight. No, but you just said that. Like, just so many different things that I had to just like unlearn and unpack. And then when you talked about just now how, you know, all of us are talking about how it can be tough for us to express certain things, right? I remind me think of Michael Jackson, right? He's quiet as all, but when he's on a stage, he's Michael Jackson, right? I'm also pretty quiet guy also, but you know, when it comes to doing what I got to do at then, I you know, it gets done. And it's the idea of, number one, you know, we as a people, hip hop community, and it's us as a people, we've been through so much trauma historically, right? So much trauma. You think about the trauma like one young child may go through and how long it lasts in their life, that can just change you. We've been through generations of this, So we got armor. It's not just like, you know, us individually, like, oh, we dealing with ourselves. Generationally, we've been through so much. We got armor, and we pass it down. And it just makes me think about the idea of this idea of authenticity, like just us being our just natural self. And it's just so difficult because we can get hurt. Somebody might say, "Oh, look at he acting soft right there," like that, or like that. Or I have friends who they always have one eye on if they're gonna get, like, you know, they're gonna do a few years. So whatever happens to them, they gotta keep in mind that might affect how their reputation is or how they might be judged. So they'll never open up too much because they always gotta think, well, I might be in that spot, so that won't be looked right. And this is the idea of radical authenticity. The idea of radical sometimes gets thrown around the wrong way, but it means going back to the roots. Radical means going back to the roots, the basic root of something. And then radical authenticity is like you navigating all the things around you that kind of stop you or impede you from being your natural self. Whether it's systemic things or the trauma or being scared to do things, whatever it is. Just like truly trying to be yourself and what makes yourself healthy or happy in spite of what this person, that person, society says. And it's just so powerful. One of the narratives I hear tonight is how hip hop allows us to do that.
Word.
Yes,
It might be the only place where I was able to express myself for the longest time. I think I told you guys before, I stopped making music for about 10 years myself. And, you know, what brought me back was me almost losing my shit. I needed something, and I didn't have the words for it, so my language became the beats. I was expressing myself through the beats I was making, and you can tell like what was going on in my life based on the titles to a lot of those beats, because that title will reflect what the hell was going on in my life at the time for a lot of stuff. So I definitely get that this music can be that way to kind of express, especially in the Black community, because it may be one of the only ways that it's okay to express some of these emotions and not make yourself a target or a victim, is to do it artistically. So it's,
you can be aggressive when you need to be aggressive, and it's not viewed as a threat. You know what I'm saying? Like you can be authentic, and it's not in question if it feels authentic. You know what I mean? And that's yeah, I hadn't thought about it like that, but yeah, you know, I like both of y'all were saying, I guess everybody's saying, you get here, even this, like I've been more transparent and open and honest in who I am on these calls than I am, and I don't have to code switch. I don't have to be on my 9 to 5 talk.
Right.
I don't have to, this is me, yo. I'm gonna tell the joke. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna try to add value. I'm gonna try to pick up something. You know what I mean? But yeah, I ain't no code switching. None of the stuff that impedes you day to day is relevant here.
Code switching, I like that. Yeah.
Can I challenge?
Yeah, I like that.
Can I make a challenge that, like, from this conversation, I'm thinking that when I always ask this, I want to always ask anybody we have as a guest or I have as a guest on any of my shows, like, what is hip hop? I always want to come back. What is it? And sometimes people say it's the pain. Hip hop is the pain. Like, the pain can come out. And then I think that kind of like throws the balance off, because we are not all defined by pain. We as well defined by our joys, our hopes, and our dreams. But one thread that I see flowing through everything is that sense of authenticity. That's the thing that I'm seeing, like that sense of authenticity, like that being self. Like, they have hip hop in Nepal, they have hip hop in Thailand, in Brazil. Like, every country I go to, I make friends because through the hip hop. And it is so funny, like, people see me, they like, I try my best to look like a professor. I do my best, but they're like, you do hip hop, right? Like, how do you know that? How do you know that? They just notice.
Right. But you probably exude it. Like, there's something, like, you think about a Talib Kweli. Like, Talib to me is one of the, if you could say, better dressed and not sound kind of corny. As an MC, Talib's not in some sagging jeans with this super extra large shirt. Talib was rocking sweaters and, like, presenting himself a certain way. But you could look at him and see that he was hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's probably what you're exuding, MidSkoOl. You probably have a walk about you. You probably have this confidence about the way you move. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be as turtled up as I want to be. The stage is there. I'm a different person when I hit the stage. Now, I might want to come across as passive when I hit the stage so I can get you with the first song. But I'm going to have my backpack on probably. There's an image that I want to portray. And even at work, like, I'm like, yo, I can't hide all of this. You can't hide all of it. It's in you. You exude it. So, but that's again, I think that's also one of those common threads, almost like hearing somebody spit. Like, you can see it.
You can see it. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that, and the authenticity is, I think, one of the things that helps me resonate with demand so well. When I say I can't imitate his style, it's not just the style, it's also the content, right? My reality isn't the same as his. Like, I listen to you talk sometimes, I'm like, yo, that's dope. I can't relate. And the same thing with Alex, you know what I'm saying? But I can feel the authenticity in it. Like, I couldn't sell, 2,000 milligrams a day. I couldn't sell that. But that's why that hits with me so well, because it is so authentic. You know what I'm saying? Even the Last Supper, you heard me spit half the Last Supper to you in Chicago. Yeah. It resonates with me because it feels so authentic. It doesn't feel like, let me go out here and act like this was something. It's like, this is what it was. And it's really opposite of who you are in a lot of ways, or who you've grown to be.
This is why I was already following D-Rhyme. This is why I listen to Rakim. This is why I recognize Rakim in him. Because there's a certain thing that a God MC is supposed to purvey, a sense of divinity, a sense of unfuckwittable. For DRYMZ, I am going to be DRYMZ security. If you want to hear something from DRYMZ to be vulnerable, then he's going to feature demand. If you want to hear him be barred up, he's going to have Mickey Factz. If you want to hear him get down political, he's going to have Immortal technique. If you want to hear what an MC is supposed to be, he's that every day. And so that's what I'm trying to convey as far as being comfortable within the space of making wrong decisions and just trying to convey it and raise kids and do the right thing. But people are always going to pull at you. You know what I'm saying? So
you outgrowing who they want you to be. So they gotta try to pull you back.
I appreciate that. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And you know,
yes.
Growth is difficult, man. Growth is not easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be better than you were yesterday is an accomplishment.
Exactly.
Because it's easy to slip back. It's way easier to slip back than it is to keep pressing forward. And we all know that. You know what I mean? So, and that's what I respect about all of us, all of y'all, however you want to look at it, you know.
Right.
Like I said, I listen to all of y'all. I listen to y'all for different reasons. And I get something different from all of y'all. And I can listen to the same song and get something different each time. But that's what good music is.
That's what it is. Yeah.
That's what good music is. That's what a talented artist gives you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
That's what gets us excited when we hear that track. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. You know, and like y'all was saying, you know, what lands with people is never what you expect to land. It's never what you expect to land.
Right.
And I had to learn that. Right. I'm like, huh? All of that.
Yeah. Word up, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
But that's what hits, man. And at the end of the day, if that landed for somebody, you did your job.
Yeah. Right. And it's a learning process. It really is. So I'm in a good community, and I appreciate being in this community. You know what I'm saying? Because it helps steer me in the right direction as far as how, like you were saying, D, I don't have an album. You know what I'm saying? I was taught the same way, just crank out singles. Just crank out, you know, and now they all around, but they, you know, they're out there already. But at the same time, I do want to have something that's, you know, I want a solid project. And until then.
Until then. Yeah. I feel the same way until then. Yeah. You know, still trying to not, you know, like I said, I come from a whole nother school of thought. So I have to realize, I got to relearn some things, right? I have to relearn things. And then there's some new things I don't know that I have to learn. You get what I mean? I don't know everything, you know? So, you know, I mean, it's all part of growth. You know what I mean? It's all part of growth. And if you chalk it up to growth, you know what I mean? You come out of it self-improved and better, man. It's all part of growth, all of it. You know,
I like how you keep hitting on self-improvement too, man. That's big.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because it's something different to each of us. But we have to learn to give ourselves credit for that. Self-love comes after you learn self-forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? And that we have to learn to give ourselves credit and not hold ourselves to a higher standard than we hold everybody else to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, when's, you know, I think even I saw an interview with King Los, and that's what he was talking about. He said, when was the last time you gave yourself props or respect? How do you talk about yourself? You'll give all of the accolades and all this talk about these other people, these other MCs. When have you done that for yourself? He said, it starts with you. You have to. You're the MC. So say what it is. You know what I mean? And that, even when he broke that down, I'm like, yeah, man, you know, it's cool to be humble and have a certain level of humility, man, but it's not even that. It's self-love. You know what I mean? It's self-love, man. Like, love yourself. You know, and I think that was one of the big things. You know, it's February, so it's Black History Month. That was one of the biggest things I learned from Malcolm was the self-love, black love, self-love. Love yourself. Before you start looking for other people to accept you and to love you, love yourself, man. You know? And that's applicable in so many different ways. It really is.
I know I saw that post. I'm sure we've all seen it, but you know, when you start to talk about the things you love, how long will you go before you mention yourself?
Oh, wow.
Yo, that's deep.
Love's gonna get you.
Yo, and I like when I stopped and thought about it, I'm like, yo, I might have been like, all right, my list is over. I might not have even mentioned myself.
Never did. I actually told a friend of mine a couple of years ago, I was like, yo, I just realized that I'd never loved myself. I had to, it's been a journey for me over the past couple of years trying to learn how to do that. I'm still in the process of learning that. Like, I didn't realize it was important. When people used to talk self-love, I'm like, oh, that's some buzzword shit. Get out of here with that. But I had to realize it's some real shit. Man. It really does make a difference in every aspect of your life if you watch how you speak about yourself, watch how you think about yourself, and really don't take other people's opinions or what they project on to you as absolute truth and reality. You really do have to learn. Knowledge itself really isn't just learning a whole bunch of facts about the world, but it's really learning who you as an individual are, because we're all something that's never been seen before. And we can't really look at others to measure and judge and figure out what we are. That I had to realize that I can't look outside of myself to figure out what I am. I really got to go inside, and I've been running away from inside the whole time because I had some dark shit in there I didn't want to see. So this self-love thing is real, and I think that's one of the reasons why this mission is so important to me, of spreading this message, of being able to talk to one another openly, because it's through conversations like this that I think I found my path to it. If I didn't have the chance to talk to certain people about stuff like this, I don't think I would have found a path to it, man.
And that's the beauty of it, right? Like, I'm not lying when I say Wednesday is my new favorite day. Think about when we did the first one, and we may have done 1 or 2, and then we was like, all right, we'll take a week or 2 off, and then we'll try to get back. And it like, we was all like, yeah, we can't, they got to be weekly. Right. Yeah. But we all had that same, it filled a similar void for all of us. And I think that was a space for us to come and be candid and vulnerable. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a lot of laughing, it's a lot of joking, it's a lot of high-fiving, but it's also a lot of truth.
Oh. Yeah, so it is.
You know what I mean?
We all kind of face some shit about ourselves that we didn't expect to on these calls, and we learned some shit about ourselves on these calls. So, yeah.
Well, you saying something gives me license to say something, which may give dUshawn license to say something, which gives GRYMES license to say something, which gives MidSkoOl license, which gives Bear license, which gives Tabak. But it's all coming from that, that sense of sharing that goes opposite of what, right or wrong, we've grown to understand to be. I can't let dUshawn know I got this happening. He gonna try to take advantage of that. Right. Yeah, D-Rhymes my man, but I gotta keep an eye on the board because of X or Y.
Wow.
Rhymes never did nothing to me. Why do I have to look at him and try to figure out what his angle is? Why can't I just trust that he has my best interest in mind? If he doesn't, cool, it'll display itself, and then we just deal with it when it happens.
Right.
But I've already put a wall up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And again, defense mechanisms. I can talk about all the defense mechanisms because I've used every last one of them drawers in the book, whether it be with myself, relationships, whatever. So I know them. You know what I mean? And I understanding those have started to see. All right. There that goes up. Why is it going up? Nah, don't give yourself that easy. I knew this was gonna fail. Nah, don't give yourself that. Put the work in. So,
well, realize the work is worth it, man.
Well,
yeah.
I thought it was futile, back then. I was just like, it's not gonna happen. But putting the work in has changed a hell of a lot, man. Like all this is like I say this every day. I got into the habit of gratitude journaling, and every day I'm saying I'm thankful for GRYSKLL. I'm thankful for my lady. I'm thankful for my dog. I'm thankful to have a warm house. I didn't realize that was really important to say before, but I'm really seeing the difference it makes in my whole day when I start the day off with that, man. And me not growing up religious or in a church, I think that kind of worked against me. Because, you know, with the church or with religion, you learn prayer. I never really learned that as a solace, but I think this is kind of a form of prayer for me. It's showing some gratitude. You know? I see the value now in talking to yourself and reaffirming yourself and just reminding yourself that it's not all dark, it's not all bad.
Yes. Like she said, I like the way Rymz is saying self-improvement. He's not saying God degree or games and stuff. They call it literature. You ain't on your square. You know, as if, you see what I'm saying? As if it's really, you know, it's a manipulating tool. You know what I'm saying? For him to stand firm on self-improvement takes away the sham, you know, of it being more than, you know, it's not knowledge, it's really empty. You know what I'm saying? Just to get you to do something that they want you to do versus actual self-improvement. So,
yeah, that's deep.
Stay heavy with that.
Yep, that's facts too, man.
Yes, indeed. All right, fellas, y'all talking, we come to the end of the road here.
I feel like it, man. For everybody,
man. I gotta wake up at 5 o'clock.
Episodes, man.
Where y'all at? Where you at, D? Rymz, where you at?
New York.
New York?
Yeah, I'm still in New York, man.
Okay, so what time is it there? Like
an hour ahead of y'all. We're an hour ahead.
Hour ahead of. Okay, it's 12 then. Okay, all right. Okay, not too bad.
So.
Not too bad.
Yeah,
man, D, we really appreciate you stopping through, man. I've been really
for sure, man.
On since we started.
Many thanks, man. Many thanks.
The people that I wanted to have in here is a few people on here. You were one of the few because of the way that you string and put your lyrics and your rhymes together, and because I can see the intention, I can see that you really had a mission with your music. It wasn't just music that you were doing. You were really trying to teach something and bring something to our community. So I really appreciate you taking the time, man.
Yeah, every post you make, man, it comes across as intentional, and the goal is to uplift. Right. I've never seen anything from you as like any hint of negativity to it.
Reckless.
You know what I'm saying, and that's dope, man. So yeah, respect.
Salute, respect. Thanks for having me, man. I was looking forward to it, and it was even beyond anything I could have expect. We're building with you brothers, man. This was dope, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anytime you want to build, let us know.
You really like you help raise the bar. So
yes,
anytime you come through, if you got projects or whatever, I know they say that's all the typical stuff they say on the shows.
Yeah.
But you know, if you really need a platform just to get out to an audience or something like that, and if we have the audience that you're looking for, bro,
right?
Man, for real, because we respect and appreciate you.
Yeah, respect, no doubt, man, no doubt. Right. I'll be back.
All right.
Yeah, man, looking forward to it, man.
Yes, sure. All right.
Much thanks for coming through, everybody.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Y'all be safe, man.
Okay,
love people.
Love.
All right.
Peace.
Peace, people. Your boy, the most fabulous T-Bear 183, coming back at you with more and more joints that got that good replay value. Now, this one, I got two albums because you can't talk about one without talking about the other, and it's from the same group. So these particular, it causes the best of debates when you try to get somebody to choose which one is the best album, because you like I said, you can't. They complement each other so crazy, and as soon as you say why you like one, then you start talking about why you like the other one, and it's just retarded. But this is another one of those albums, well, both of these albums that I've had on every medium. I've had the tape, had it on tape, lost the tapes, got them on CD, and then later on ended up getting them on wax. It's just that good. And this is a constant rotation. This is one of those, you can't go wrong. When in doubt, drop either one of these on, and it's gonna get you through your journey or whatever you're doing. If it's the ride home, if it's going to the store, if it's just some road trip, if it's walking and you got your headphones on, it's gonna get you through. And this is what started the vibes. So, what am I talking about? Here we go. Boom! Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory, backed with Midnight Marauders. You can't talk about one without talking about the other. Which one is my favorite? I will never tell you, because they're both my favorite. Man, first off, you hard pressed to try to figure out who ever rhymed over jazz samples better than A Tribe Called Quest. So this album right here, Low End Theory, I believe this is when we first got a good taste of Brother Fife, dog, when he first started coming up out his bag, and we got to actually see some of this brother's rhyme skills. It's on this album right here. But on top of that, again, with the samples, oh my God, the samples are so crazy. The stuff that they pulled out, when you go back and do your digging and you actually hear the originals, it's like they didn't even really have to chop these joints up, man. They could have rhymed over the originals and it still would have been funky. That's just how dope this album is. And it like set the bar. They came out with this joint. Cats had to go back in and figure out what to do with themselves. I mean, how we gonna top this joint here? You know, and this is what was this, 93? This was 91? This one was 91. 1991. Cats was coming hard, coming strong with this one. The joints you got on here, it's like all of them is dope. It starts off with Excursions. Excursions is dope. Bugging Out's dope. Rap Promoter's dope. Butter. It's like butter, baby. It's like butter. Come on, man. Verses from the Abstract. You know, you're about to make me put the damn thing on. You know, Show Business is when Cats was rhyming about getting jerked by the record label. I mean, it's like a common tale now, but they was one of the first persons that's really speaking up, talking about it. You know, vibes and stuff. Like I said, they come in with them vibes. Man, they talked about date rape. Check the rhyme. Come on, man. There's so many cuts on here. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like I said, you can't go wrong. Can't figure out what you want to listen to? Put this joint on. Low End Theory. Can't go wrong. It's just that dope. Midnight Marauders. 93, right? Yeah, 93. 1993, I believe the legend goes, it came out the same day as Wu-Tang and in the 36. Another one that we might talk about later on. Good replay value. High replay value. But man, what I got to say about Midnight Marauders, this is Tribe just showing off. Now they showing off. Now we gonna show our ass. First they gave you Low End Theory. Now we just gonna show you off and show you that we still got it. And we can, you thought you liked this one, now check this out. You know, and they came with it. Right off the top. You know, Steve Biko. Crazy samples. Award tour. We on a war tour with Muhammad, my man. You got your boy Dave from Daylock holding the eye. I still don't remember what the significance of that was, but it was memorable. And it made you want to listen to it over and over again. The video was crazy. The beat was crazy. The rhymes was crazy. Mad quotables. You rap along with it all the time. It's dope. 8 million stories in the city. Sucker nigga. Nigga. I put the sucker in the front for the ones that front. Come on, man. Come on, man. We Can Get Down. Electric Relaxation. We talked about this one some time ago, some weeks ago. Your man Fife come through, bust off on your couch. Now you got cement furniture. That line is crazy. Who says these things? But it's on this album. It's a dope album. And man, take a peek. They got all sorts of cats to show up just to take a picture for the cover. There's cats in there you seen all the time, cats in there you ain't seen in a while. Look, it's even the fucking Puff Daddy on the cover. What the hell? How the hell you get Puffy on the cover in motherfucking 1993? He wasn't even really doing shit then. Or was he? Right. You know? Souls of Mischief on the cover. Far Side on the cover. Search. All sorts of cats. So you know you dope if you know all of these cats just to come out and put some headphones on, take a picture for you, for your album cover that they ain't even on. These niggas ain't even on the damn album. How about that? This one here. This is they show off album. So like I said, you can't pick them. You can't pick them. You can't go wrong with either one. You're in the car, you're trying to figure out what you want to play. You gotta hurry up and make a move, otherwise you're gonna get stuck in rush hour. Pick one of these two Tribe albums. Boom, boom. It don't matter. You can't go wrong. High replay value. I suggest everybody, if you don't have a physical copy, go buy you one. And if you can't find one, I'm pretty sure you can download the MP3 somewhere. You probably ain't even got to download it. If you go next door and knock on your guy crib, I'm sure he got one and he'll rip it for you. Because I'm sure he got it. If you don't have it, I mean, this is like, it's like Michael Jackson Thriller. Everybody in hip hop should have these two albums. Straight up. Go get you some. Later.